What? My mic's hot? What do you mean it's hot? I'm hot. Well, I mean, I'm in the basement. I'm not that hot. Or are you talking like, is it the gel? Was the gel good? Listen, like, when are we going to go on? Because, like, at this point, I'm just filling air. I'm just filling. Hey, everybody. Hi. How you doing? We're back. We're back. And this time, they're going to win the Stanley. Stop it. Stop it. Don't laugh at me. I can hear you laughing at me. Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle here on the Sportsnet YouTube channel, presented by Coca-Cola. It's the product that I'm holding right now. That was quite good. That's quite good. Listen, there's magic when we cheer together, and there's magic in every Coca-Cola. And did you know that? Did you see the commercial that I'm in? There's stuff that comes out of the bottle, and I'm magic, and I have magical genie transporting powers. That's because I drink Coca-Cola. It gives you magical powers. Is that legally? Can we? There's magic when we cheer together. It's what the banner says. Presented by Coca-Cola. There you go. Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle. We got a Leafs game tonight. Isn't that interesting? It's also a Sens game, but boo and fart. I'm kidding, Sens fans. You're welcome. Everyone in the chat here on the Sportsnet YouTube channel, we have 3 rules. One is click like. No, wait, sorry, we have 4 rules. Click like. Click subscribe. Tell all your friends. The 4th is be nice. Hello, Robert Malloy. Monitoring the chat. We got a team in the studio. Producer Soup. Producer Steph. Nick. Tom. Did I miss any? I hope not. You can send me a glitter bomb in the mail. If I did. If I forgot any of you. Leafs taking on the Ottawa Senators here in the first hockey night in Canada of the season. The first Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle, presented by Coca-Cola, of the season. It's a wonderful way to be. Lineups. Stop talking, Leaf Yelly Man, and give me the lineups. I will. Leafs lineup. There are no changes from last game. I'll get to that in a minute. Bunting, Matthews, Marner is the top line. Nylander on the left of Tavares, Malgin on the right. Engvall, Kerfoot, Yarncroke continues to be the third line for the time being. Zach Aston Reese, David Kampf, and Nicolas Aube-Kubel, noted Stanley Cup champion, rounding out the Leafs offense. Riley Brody, Muzzin Hall, who had a pretty good bounce-back game last game after a not very good game to start the season. And Giordano, the oldest defenseman on the team, the oldest skater in the league, with the youngest player on the team, Rasmus Sandin. Isn't that hilarious and beautiful and funny? Ilya Samsonov is starting tonight. Eric Källgren is the backup. Now, it's quite the precarious situation today. So here's what happened. Leafs started the season with 4 goalies on NHL contract. Matt Murray, Ilya Samsonov, Eric Källgren, who we saw with the Leafs last season in a call-up role, and Joseph Woll, who we also saw at, was it last year? He has played games for the Leafs, and he has won games for the Leafs. Joseph Woll started hurt, so we're down 1. Eric Källgren, we'll get to him in a minute. Matt Murray left practice today, favoring his left leg. Oh, look at that with the footage. We got footage. There he is skating with, I believe that's Leaf goalie coach Curtis Sanford. Not looking good, so they're like, all right, we're going to evaluate. We're going to figure out what's going on. And the reason they had to figure out what's going on, by the way, thank you to David Alter for the video, is because Eric Källgren played a game with the Toronto Marlies last night and got run over, like run all the way over in front of his own net. So it was thought that he wouldn't be good to go. That would have caused quite the panic for the Toronto Maple Leafs, because then their only healthy goalie under NHL contract would be Ilya Samsonov. All right. Well, call up Keith Petruzzelli. Call up that Dryden McKay guy. Call up Dylan Ferguson. They can't because none of those guys are signed to NHL contracts. Ferguson is on a tryout, and Dryden McKay and Keith Petruzzelli are on AHL deals. Okay, so just sign them. You can't because the Leafs are at the 50 contract limit. So if Eric Källgren wasn't good to go tonight, I believe they would have had to use a U of T goalie as the backup. And I don't know what they would have done after that because we had to think of long-term scenarios here. And we have a very long-term scenario here. Matt Murray on the LTIR. So the Leafs are going to have to figure this out. Anton Forsberg, fantastic in Ottawa's first game. Lost. Ilya Samsonov, so-so in his first game. Won. The Battle of Ontario. Hockey night in Canada. Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle, presented by Coca-Cola. There's magic when we eat together. There's magic when we cheer together. Now let's cheer right now as we watch this game. I have a monitor over here. It looks like I'm just straight up watching the game with you. I'm seeing this for the first time, and I love it. By the way, I mentioned Robert Malloy in the chat. Questions to the chat while you're clicking like and clicking subscribe and telling all your friends and being nice. If you send in questions, I will get to them when I can. The Ottawa Senators, by the way, with a very different looking lineup. Brady Tkachuk, Tim Stützle, Drake Batherson, DeBrincat, Norris Giroux, Mott, Pinto, Joseph, and I believe it's Parker Kelly, Kastelik, and Watson on the fourth line. That's a pretty big fourth line. Shabbat and Zub, Sanderson, Hamonic, Brandstrom, Zaitsev, and of course, in net, like I said, Anton Forsberg. Zaitsev in the lineup for Nick Holden. Ottawa not doing so good in their first game against the Buffalo Sabres. I think it's going to take a while for them to gel. Hopefully, the night that they gel isn't tonight, if you're a Leafs fan. And if you're a Sens fan, I still hope it's not the night that they gel. How dare you? Oh, boy. Like, that's just such a unforced error. The Leafs have been really sloppy to start the season, and that's not a call. We are happy about that. Kelly Yarncroke. In deep. Engvall with lots of time and space. Now, the Leafs have lots of time and space, and Yarncroke. Ooh. Ooh! Ah! Gotta love this commentary. You learned a lot about the team when that happened.
Early for the Maple Leafs. You mentioned John Tavares just 2 points away from number 900. He almost gets one here off the draw. Beats Stützle and then gets lost.
Dennis Malgin, still very interested to see how he does. John Tavares trying to go short side there. He almost got it. Really confident in that shot. Red hot to start the season. I know it's only 2 games in. 2 games can feel like an eternity depending on who you are. Oh! Bunting. You cheeky sneaky. Tried to go between the legs. It does not work. Excuse me while I have this refreshing Coca-Cola. Oh. I love when hockey players nonchalantly do things on purpose that most of us can only hope will happen once in our lives by accident. Matthews, the ozone draw going up against Brady Tkachuk. Tkachuk comes up with it. We got a whistle. Those 2 buddies. Sandine and Batherson. From the chat. Robert Malloy said the first question, it's not from anyone in particular, it just says gestures broadly about Murray, which made me laugh very hard. Listen, it's not good. I mean, Samsonov played a lot of games last year for the Washington Capitals, so if he has to carry the load for the next little while, he can. He wasn't wonderful for Washington last year, but he can do it. Oh, this is going to be an odd man rush for the Sens. Marner coming back, though. You got to commit to someone. Leafs turn it back up the other way. The Leafs have really struggled with their odd man rushes to start this season. A, in giving them up, and B, how they handle them. This is looking a little better. Michael Bunting trying to tip it on. Doesn't work. Yeah, so Samsonov, I have confidence in Shelgren. I think he showed enough last year that, like, listen, your third goalie is not going to be as good as your second, generally speaking. That's how it works. That's why they're third. These situations happen. You don't like them, but they happen. You need to be prepared. And honestly, in terms of an option in the AHL, this is probably the best third option the Leafs have had in quite some time. Obey-Kubel with no regard for his life or anyone else's. This fourth line banging.
Taken away by Stutzla. You see the identity of
By the way, Dave Camp on the fourth line is very strange. I like this line. I think it's effective. And he's going to get his ice time. It was a good poke. But he was the third line center all year last year.
Here's Mark Giordano, who assisted on the game-winning goal against Washington 2 nights ago. The
Bang.
Deflection by Matthews.
Another big hit.
Ottawa changing, so Giordano has Tavares.
Oh, John Tavares, bang! Oh, Forsberg didn't know where that was.
That almost went 7-hole.
He didn't know where that was, but it was in his equipment. Yuck, Johnny. You gotta get the patented Hockey Night in Canada spit. The national television spit. The sport with the most spit per capita in the world. You know what? In terms of how that could have gone, that went okay. Tavares, wham! Almost getting a goal. At very least, he gets the ozone draw for his own line. Muzzin looked for the clear path there. I don't know if that was quite on target. Gets it deep anyway.
Drawing in against his former team. A check there by Morgan along the boards.
Nylander bullied off the puck there. And here come the Sens. Muzzin, only one back again. Shoots, stopped by Samsonov. Feels like the Sens can't get across the center ice line, but whatever they do, it's a 2-on-1.
Blowing the zone early, trying to get behind the Leafs.
Right.
Just try to open up some of that middle ice, and it worked pretty effectively. An odd man rush and a good first chance by Giroux. And a good save by Samsonov.
An opening goal would be quite refreshing. Oh! And we almost got one there. Pierre Engvall in front. He hasn't quite looked himself.
Claude Giroux blew the zone to just try to open up. Look, he's already
didn't really season action in there. Why is Claude Giroux so upset?
Bobble by Hall keeps the play alive. Now you've got a 2-on-1. And Samsonov just holds his ground. He knows that there's no pass going to happen because his defenseman took it away, and then in all alone. Had there been a rebound there, Forsberg unable to handle it, Engvall was there to get it, there wasn't one.
Kerfoot a face-off win. Riley rolls it towards Forsberg, follows up, Pinto around the boards, and TJ Brody will hold the zone. Back it comes to Kelly Yardcroak. Goal scorer against Washington, his first as a Leaf. Engvall back to Riley. TJ Brody sends it around, and Engvall gonna go after that. Tracked by Jake Sanderson.
Well, hello. Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle, presented by Coca-Cola. Had a little tech issue there. Those are going to happen. Did anyone score? I hope not. I don't think they did. Commercial break in progress. That means no one scored. That's how I choose to interpret that. Fantasy people. I had a very difficult decision to make today that I think I got screwed on. I have too many good centers. And I saw JT Miller and his Vancouver Canucks were going to play the Philadelphia Flyers. And I said, he's got to be in. Sidney Crosby. I know he's playing the Tampa Bay Lightning, but he's Sidney Crosby. He's got to be in. And I'm pretty sure, so I could get JT Miller in the lineup, I benched Joe Pavelski. And I'm very sad. I would be more sad if the Leafs were losing this game. They're not. Look at that. They're not. There's Obey-Kubel. Look at that speed. Get in there, sir. Justin Hall throwing it on. Man, Forsberg? It's funny. It looks like he's having difficulty tracking the puck tonight. He's looked confused quite often. Oh, hook in front of the net by Obey-Kubel.
Thomas Chabot ends up with it.
Interesting player, Obey-Kubel, as the puck is shot off the glass and out.
Well, you think coming in, there's a book on everything.
It just feels like there's so much there with Obey-Kubel.
His bread and butter. I think one thing that he's improved on
but
and will continue to is his one-timer.
It feels like that with players pretty often, doesn't it? Oh, man. This guy just figures it out.
First one here this year.
And then you're like, oh, they're 28.
I just think that last year,
I don't know if this is going to work out. Kubel is 26. Obey-Kubel,
first 3 games of the year. Didn't score until
he's a second-round pick of the Philadelphia Flyers.
And Chris had just 1 goal in the first
Put up 11
games,
goals with the Avs last year in just 67 games.
Okay.
41 points. Almost a career high. Or no, sorry, it was a career. Sorry, he had 22 points. I was looking at his penalty minutes. Almost a career high in penalty minutes last year.
Malkin bump, but Tavares gets it back.
But you know what? It was his first season over 50 games played, and he got $1 million for it. And a Stanley Cup. Even though he broke it, so not bad for him. Leafs dominating this game so far, but it hasn't amounted to anything as Forsberg easily tracks that one and stops it.
Building the biggest fake ID empire in North America, and they're in high school. Fakes stream for free on CBC Gem.
Well, the wait for Anton Forsberg is going to be a great one. Obviously, Cam Talbot brought in to sort of share the efforts.
Let's have a look at the chat.
Injury early on was a bit of a setback, but Forsberg, I thought, was just excellent.
None, yeah. Said ready for season 2. This is season 16 of me covering hockey, making YouTube videos about hockey, and now YouTube streams about hockey. But only my second one doing streams for these games. Second full one. Ooh, that was an interesting opportunity. Because we did do the Canadian bubble playoffs. I don't recall how it ended. I don't recall. I don't recall. I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I'm jacked. It's like riding a bike.
Matthews got there first.
Sometimes you fall
Skipped over the stick of Bunting.
Wait, that's not how. Not what the saying is meant to imply. Anyway, you know what I mean.
Flip it away and start.
Among the things that need to be better for the Toronto Maple Leafs after the first 2 games, definitely their top line. They've been on the ice for, I believe, 3 goals against through 2 games, which is tough. Sheldon Keefe. Marner goes to the box. And this was a big problem in the Washington game. The Leafs took the final 4 penalties of that game. Oh boy, really?
The arm went up, but instead it's an important penalty killer in Mitch Marner who goes down. And so
guess.
An early opportunity here on the road for Ottawa to get something going on.
Really?
One of the areas.
That's such a game 3 of the season penalty. Anyway, Leafs took the last 4 penalties of the game against Washington. 3 of them were in the third period. All 4 of the people who took the penalties
but 0 for
were
4 on
penalty
Thursday,
killers
and they had a 5
for the
on
Leafs.
3
Marner
for
was one of them.
48 seconds.
Now he takes one again here in the first,
Without
in a game where the Leafs
success.
are the better team so far. But now Ottawa has an opportunity to go up 1-0 in this game where they've only managed 2 shots on net. Leafs penalty kill, as the graphic showed, is a perfect 9 for 9 so far this season. And how many of you just screamed at the screen, "Steven, why did you say that?" Oh.
Gets it back.
Oh.
Sanderson across for DeBrincat.
Oh, I thought he would have shot that. Quarter of the way through this
To
kill.
Jake Sanderson, who gets it from Giroux.
Oh,
and
boy.
shoots, and that hit traffic in front.
I think Samsonov was guessing at that
Second
one.
round for
Sen's
DeBrincat.
able to hold it in.
Watched by David Kemp.
Sen's able to hold it in again. Here's Giroux.
Giroux 300 scores.
Oh,
And Shane
wow.
Pinto, and it's a Giroux
What a
shot, so
goal,
now
Shane Pinto.
351 Career power play points.
What a one-timer, and I'm so sorry I said anything.
There's an argument by
Marner
Mitch
still
Marner,
arguing
not
the
thinking
call.
He should have had a call, but credit
It's
to
a
the
tough-
Ottawa
that's a tough
Senators.
call.
They've been in their own zone a lot to start this game.
And you
get
pay
your
for
first
those
chance
ones.
on the
You
power
always
play,
do.
And it's the
Murphy's
experience of
Law.
Giroux. He's
But
waiting
check out
for
this
that
pass.
stick to move, and look at just a
The
little
pass
bit
in that
right
shot,
there
man,
is the
that's
stick
good.
by David Kemp.
That is
And
good. You can be
Pinto,
mad at the call,
you know,
but
so much excitement about Shane Pinto
as a
here.
fan
What
of hockey,
frustrating year last
goodness
year, only
gracious.
getting to play 5 games,
good
but
pass from Giroux.
a lot
Great shot
upside
from
for
Shane
this young
Pinto,
man,
and
there's
just
a
like
quick
that,
release that beats
1-0
Samsonov
Ottawa.
on the short side to give Ottawa
Battle
a
of
1-0 lead.
Ontario.
So Pinto first of the year. Jake
You allow the
Sanderson
first
has his first point
goal in it.
in the NHL. Giroux
No
also
bueno.
an assist.
Shane Pinto, his first goal of the season.
9:09 time of the power
Giroux
play
and
goal.
Sanderson getting their first
DJ
assists.
Smith was talking about
Getting their first,
deflecting in on
assists of the season.
Samsonov.
Whoa!
Tkachuk
Brady Tkachuk crashing
battling
the
in
net.
front, and a little emotion
No
and
half
commotion
measure.
in front of the Leaf net.
For Tkachuk, he can't quite find the puck,
If you
but he
want,
doesn't
if you're a
care. He's
Leafs
just
fan
going and
who
rolling himself,
wishes the
causing
Leafs
as much havoc
did more
as
of the
he
rough
can,
stuff and you want to get
you watch
mad,
Morgan Riley, this is a tough
go and
break
watch
for
the
Riley
video of
because
Eric
you're trying
Sheldon
to
getting
box out
trucked
here
in the
at
American
this
Hockey
section
League.
and
He
get
gets
the puck.
run over.
But you're also worried about potentially
Absolutely run
knocking it
over.
in or hitting your own goaltender as well.
The Toronto Marlies
Tkachuk
employ
just
the
spins off the
largest
road, he
player
tries
in
to
the
get a
league
hack on
in
it,
Curtis
gets a little
Douglas.
bit
He's
of
on an
contact
NHL
with
contract.
Samsonov, and
He's standing right
at
there
that point, you know
and
you're
doing
going to
it.
get a face watch from everybody. The end result is a face-off outside.
I met Brady Tkachuk at the NHL Player Media Tour. That is a large
Going to say Shane
human.
Pinto with the goal from an area that DJ Smith was saying.
From
he
Cody
was
in the chat.
very
Do we
effective
panic
in the
now?
pop area.
I
Saw
feel
him
like that's a
score
trap
there in the
question.
preseason. In the rookie
You're a Leafs
tournament,
fan. When do you turn
he
off the
has
fan?
icebreaker
That has to be a
tonight.
penalty, right?
Engvall has trouble with his footing. And
If the Marner one,
plays it back. Now the
we're
Leafs
going to
are
be
in,
salty
led
about
by
that all
Kerfoot.
game unless the Leafs win this, because that call
Watched
sucks.
by Shabbat.
That's one of those plays, too, where the experience of Giroux, he knows that there's pressure there. There isn't a lot of room.
Slick pass to Kerfoot. He gets through. Stopped by
But all
Forsberg.
you're doing as the shooter is just saying, once I get my stick free,
That
just
happened
put
in
it
the
to area.
blink of an
And
eye.
That was about as well
That was
executed
awesome.
as you could get, especially a power play that's just trying to
So you're
find
telling me this
itself
game might not be over just
and
yet?
get some chemistry.
Giordano moved up, tried to
Giordano
drop
tries to
Nylander.
steal the puck off
Maybe
of
caught here.
Nylander.
Stutzla.
Doesn't
Turned
work.
back by Matthews.
Almost results in
Now he's
disaster.
in. Loose
Leafs
on
completing a
that
line
left
change.
side,
He's
and
wide
Sanderson a
open.
shot, and
Oh,
that goes
boy.
out Sandin, and
Again,
didn't get to the
these
net.
sloppy
And
breakdowns
Sandin's
by
on
the Leafs.
lift,
They're
but
not
might
crisp
have saved the goal.
Yeah,
to start
that
this
was a
season,
big
and
block.
maybe
He
that's
is
to be
limping
expected.
off
But
there,
wow,
but
they're
he's able
not
to get
crisp.
off, and
Samsonov
nice play
covers
by
it up.
Stutzla to create the chance. And
Oh no, Sandin.
that one
Hopefully that's just a
always
stinger.
hurts, but
You
man,
block
when you
one?
maybe save a goal, it feels a whole lot better. You saw the little tap on the back.
Oh
by
boy,
Morgan
he doesn't
Riley.
look comfy at all. What happened
Kerfoot
there?
gets a nice pass there, a chip pass.
It was the
as
TJ
Malcolm
Brody pass to
won.
Kerfoot.
In
That was
all alone,
magical.
Tries to go blocker side,
Oh.
gets it a little down low, and Joseph with the bounce
Almost
back
beats
to
Forsberg.
Sanderson, the one-timer. Oh, got him on the
Oh,
instep of that
Sandin
right
blocks
ankle.
it off the
That's a
instep.
vulnerable spot, and no
That
kidding.
does not
That
tickle.
one hurt.
Puck flipped
Did
over
that
the
go
glass,
straight out?
hit
Can
somebody
never
en
tell
route, and
on camera.
see
Ooh, Sandin
Sandin
is
still trying
really,
to shake that off.
really struggling.
Past the midway mark of the first.
Is he going for a skate to test it out?
The veteran Giroux to the youngster Pinto. 1-0 Senators.
There's Shane Pinto's goal to put the Ottawa Senators up 1-0. Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle, presented by Coca-Cola. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe. Tell all your friends. There's magic when we cheer together. Not when we lament together, although we can do that as well, if we really want to. Sorry, I don't know if you saw me futzing around with, I had a cord around my foot, but I magically got it off. I'm going to enjoy a refreshing sip of Coca-Cola to celebrate that I am now free from my headphones. I do love a Coke. I really do. Like, I'm not making that up. Let's have another look at what happened to Rasmus Sandin here. Oof. You see the face right away. Joseph with the pass. Jake Sanderson, the shot. By the way, I don't know if that assist was his first NHL point. I think it might have been. Oh. There's just not much there, man. Just right off the inside of the heel. That's tough enough. Or the ankle, sorry. That's tough enough when you, like, hit it off the bed frame. Something like that. I don't like when my dog steps on my feet. Whenever summer hits, and I decide, guess what? It's barefoot season. My 80-pound golden doodle says, "Let me sing you the song of my people." And he just stomps the heck out of my feet, and it hurts. And I don't like it. And then but I still love him, and I give him treats.
Problem when you've got
Victory puppies. That's how it works.
options.
Anyway, let's get back to the game. A little over halfway through this first period. 1-0 Ottawa. Whoa, Dennis Malgin takes a slip and a fall.
You can always make adjustment when it doesn't.
If you're just joining us, it was a Mitch Marner penalty that was meh, to say the least. To put it lightly, we got a 3-on-2 for the Sens. Oh, 4-on-3! Stop, rebound! Good job to at least. Oh, boy! Leafs, after dominating the first few minutes, are really falling apart here. Okay. A lot of Leaf fans are not so sure about this whole Matt Murray and Elias Samsonov thing. I think they can be a competent goalie tandem. Let me tell you what they are the worst at. They might be the worst puck-handling tandem in the league. And every time either of them tries to play the puck, I wish they wouldn't. I can't decide who's worse, Samsonov or Murray. Pretty sure it's Samsonov. I guess we'll find out over the next little bit.
That's off the stick of Tkachuk. Giordano quickly ahead. Engvall in. Dropped for Kerfoot.
Engvall dropped to Kerfoot. That's just a floater to draw a face-off in the off. And it worked.
This is a little break in the action to remind you that the DraftKings Sportsbook app is available to download right now. Back to the game we love.
You go back to Thursday night, and it was Brady Tkachuk that got the game's first goal. The Senators had a 1-0 lead like they do now, and just simply weren't able to get anything else going. They had 36 shots on goal, and so had their chances, as you mentioned. Craig Anderson strong, but I thought they were back on their heels a little bit early in this game, but they've been able to get their speed back up, and it's been pretty even since.
Nine grade A chances in the game at Buffalo, according to Coach Smith. Pass there behind Matthews. And 15 scoring chances overall Stützle was involved in.
just not outmanned
All right.
nearly as much as he has been in the first few.
Here's Sanderson losing it to
Zach Aston Reese tripping over
They go to the corner
face-off circle.
Dug out there by David Camp. With
I'm excited for what
Batherson
this
in the
fourth line
vicinity.
can do the more they gel.
Now Ove Kubel sends it wide.
Because, man, the
Riley
hustle's there.
plays
But
it back in
there's a
deep.
whole lot of chaos
Aston
and nothing
Reese
happened.
Went down in front of the net. Camp trying to shake the checking of Sanderson. Zach Aston Reese for Ove Kubel. Couldn't get a shot away. Now the former Colorado Avalanche will play it back. A fourth line shift for Toronto in the offensive zone, and Forsberg will hold on to that.
Forsberg with
Here's
the stop.
your growth as a young
The easy
defenseman
one,
in the
but again,
National
the
Hockey
ozone
League.
draw
I mean,
for
Sanderson
the Toronto Maple
played
Leafs.
huge
Matthews
minutes at the
Marner
University
line
of North Dakota,
just on. I
but that's
imagine
not the
Tavares and Willie
NHL,
Erba.
and having to battle one-on-one defensively and then be tired at the end of the shift. You know, the great thing about good
That guy in his
pros and
seat
good
saying, "Those are the
defending
Toronto
pros
Maple
is
Leafs."
playing when you're tired. And
They're playing the
you
Ottawa
mentioned
Senators
22
tonight.
minutes and
I was right
21
about Jake
seconds.
Sanderson.
There's
That was his first
Jeff,
career
great
point.
Player,
Jeff
over
Sanderson.
700 points in 1100
Dad,
career games. Got to be an exciting
one of the most
3 days
underrated
for me
players
and the entire family seeing
in
his
NHL
boys playing the
video
way he
games
is.
history.
The confidence level's pretty high, isn't it?
I don't know who at EA Sports he knew,
The Northwest Territories,
but he had
and
Cliff Ronning-like
Jake, the
abilities.
First player ever from Montana.
Always
National Hockey
drafted
League.
him in the late rounds of the
Montana,
fantasy
nice
draft.
place to vacation, and
For, was it NHL
first ever
2001?
player getting his game
I always
on
got Jeff
Thursday from
Sanderson.
there.
I think it was.
All unable to connect on that pass
Oh.
intended for Tavares. Matthew Joseph out on the ice. And there's Tyler
That's a
Mott
pizza by Jake Muzzin.
flipping it back into the Leaf zone. Under
Adds up to
6
nothing,
remaining
luckily.
here in the first period. Sheen Pinto, a power play goal as Ottawa in front.
There's Tavares.
John
Stays
Tavares
onside.
back in.
Keeps control of the
Now
puck there.
Marner
Marner out on
flips
the
it
ice.
backhanded. Forsberg will hold on to that. Shots now.
Is that a line
10,
change or on
7
purpose?
In favor of Toronto.
Interesting.
But
We
it's
get
the
another
visiting
ozone
Senators
draw.
with a
So the Leafs
1-goal
doing
lead.
a lot of good things, but not great things. And they're down 1-0. You can argue about should that have been the call? Should there have even been a power play? Those happen, man. Those happen. You got to be the better team, and you got to stay the better team. I'll have a sponsor I can just drink during the show. This is wonderful. Okay? Can I pose with this? Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle, presented by Coca-Cola. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe. Tell all your friends. What do we got in the chat there? Robert Malloy. Adam, what do you think of the pickups the Sens made? Whoop. Hit the microphone. What do you think of the pickups the Sens made this summer? Dude, they're really good. They're really good. I mean, you talk about an extremely sharp change in organizational philosophy and spending. And for the life of me, like, I understand the Chicago Blackhawks are going for Connor Bedard. And Connor Bedard is truly ridiculous. I saw a stat today, I think it was from Mitchell Brown. Connor Bedard, through 10 games in the WHL, has 9 goals, 10 assists, and 140 shot attempts. He's had 2 games with 10 shots on net. He's a truly spectacular player. But the Blackhawks are such a mess that I think they'd be right in the Connor Bedard sweepstakes with Alex DeBrincat. With him. Couldn't they have just kept him? I know they got the 7th overall pick for him.
2020 draft.
The strangest argument I always get
through some injuries.
is, well,
one game at the Olympics
they're going to have to
because
pay
he
to
got
bring
hurt
him.
and
And the Sens, I believe,
wasn't
signed him
able
to
to take part
a
in
large
rookie
extension.
camp. Couple of hand injuries
What do you think they're going to have to pay
last year,
Bedard?
but
What do you think they're going to be good by the end of his ELC? TJ Brody stopped
TJ Brody gets a look.
by Forsberg.
Matthews
are they going to call that? Don't you dare.
Play it away.
Oh, Brody was coming right down the pipe there. And
No.
looked like hesitated for a second as the puck got deflected, but tried to go short side and
Correct answer.
quite get it to where he needed to.
Riley,
As Forsberg
long
came
pass.
flying
Doesn't
across.
quite work. Bunting goes into the corner to
Bunting
get it.
charges in.
Oh,
Comes
Bunting
up
with an
with
opportunity.
the
Tries to slide it over to Mitch Marner. It
And
doesn't
that
work.
one knocked
Chaos
away.
in front of the net.
Here's
The Leafs are
Riley.
going to get opportunities tonight.
Brody
Take the over.
Matthews up high.
Matthews.
So is
Oh, my
Marner.
goodness, the quick passing.
They stretch the
No one
offensive
really on the
zone,
point.
and
There you
that
go,
pass doesn't work.
TJ, and he overskates it a
Mark
little bit,
Castle's
and
out.
here come the Sens.
Here's
Got support,
Castle,
though. It's got support.
who, like Sanderson, dad, a former Hartford Whaler.
Leafs really trying to, wow. Leafs really trying to attack this Sens fourth
And
line.
Haslett to the line.
And it hasn't
Sanderson across.
bared fruit just yet.
Hamonic, and that roll
Knights have
through
throws it on. Stop.
is turned aside by Samsonov.
By
Again, this
Samsonov.
line spending time in the offensive zone. They've had some tough
And the
matchups.
Sens
to start
lose
this
the
game,
zone, and we'll have to.
We'll get some more shifts from
Get
DJ
back.
Smith because of it.
That was pretty close to
Stutzla,
too many men.
Kachuk, Bathurst,
Sens
and
great
Stutzla.
passing. They shoot.
And that goes high.
Oh my
Back
goodness.
In front, the D-lander was there.
Puck
and
just, it was magic. Magic. Transported
nifty
magic.
passing by the
John
Senators.
Tavares stops up, gives
They
it to
come
Jake
close to
Muzzin.
expanding
Was
the lead.
offside there.
Nylander ahead of the
Willie
play,
Nylander a
offside.
little
A few trading
overzealous.
chances on both
Yeah,
ends.
TJ Brody
He
took a
jumping up,
beating on
always
that last
dangerous.
shift. Let's have a look at that.
You can see the
There's that
deflection
opportunity
came
for
right
him.
in, didn't
Oh!
quite get it. Brody didn't
Off
get
the
enough
side
on
of the
that
net.
bottom hand. And talk about chemistry is lots. You mentioned about the line choices. Well,
He's already off by
Norris
this one.
not on
Boy,
that line with
Sens
Kachuk
really
and
had the Leafs in the
Matheson
spin
and
cycle
Stutzla.
there.
There's maybe one of the reasons. Pretty good chemistry there. Good quick puck movement and created an excellent chance. A nice save by
NHL coaches
Samsonov to keep it a
love
one-goal game.
chewing gum. I don't think any of them love it more than DJ Smith.
Senators control the draw, play it out to
That
center.
guy is aggressive.
Stepping up
with how
the
he
goal
chews it.
scorer, Pinto.
Oh
His
boy,
shot just went
that's
wide.
way too easy
Put
for
in
the
front
Sens
of
to
the
get
net,
in.
Cleared away by Kerfoot.
Way too easy.
Pinto trying to get back on it. Muzzin takes a look.
The
moves
Leafs
it
with
ahead,
lots
goes
and
past
lots
Zaitsev.
more
Here's
ozone time than the
Hall.
Sens,
Got
more than
Hall
double.
moving up, but too far for Justin Hall.
But it almost feels like the Sens have had the more
Kerfoot
dangerous
sends it
chances.
across. It'll be Yarncroke.
Wham!
That's off the glove
Where'd that
of
go?
Forsberg.
Magical Mystery Tour.
Tyler Mott will steer it past Giordano.
Sens
down,
throw it
and
down the ice,
icing
and this
Ottawa.
will be icing.
Well, Pinto, fresh off the power play goal, just showing again his calmness with the puck, making
Shane
something out
Pinto
of
has
nothing.
to
Good move
go
at the
back.
line.
Some tired
Little
Sens players.
outside, inside,
This is
quick
why they're
shot,
tired.
got the rebound there, and you can see Samsonov just
He had a
trying to
really good
squeeze
opportunity
that
to
one.
score
Now
his second of the
Yarncroke
game. Here's
through a
that
crowd,
big slap
another
shot
high
from
shot.
Yarncroke.
That was labeled top shot.
Not afraid to use it.
Forsberg got a piece of it, then had no
They already
idea
got
where
one
the
in a Leaf
rebound
uniform.
was.
Oh,
Matthews
Matthews with the
win.
face-off win. Giordano to
Checked by
Marner.
Chabot. Comes
You're
outside
offside.
the line. Leafs have to tag up.
Leafs have to scamper back.
That gives Ottawa time to make changes.
It was a
Chabot
decent
over
hit.
24 minutes in
Matthews
the
throwing
opening
his body
game.
around.
Stretch for DeBrincat, cut off, and
To
Marner
start this
heads
season, he had the
back.
big hit on
Matthews.
Faravari in the Capitals game after scoring the eventual
Turned
game winner.
aside by Forsberg.
Not the greatest
away
first
goes
5
Josh
periods for
Norris.
that top line. Matthews
He'll
looked
flip it down.
spectacular.
DeBrincat
Matthews
goes
in
after
particular
it.
looked
Against
spectacular
Sandin.
in period 6.
Giordano and Matthews. Onto the right side for Marner. End of a shift. He wants off. And over the boards comes the camp line.
Or Giordano
2.5 to go here in the opening
waiting
period.
for stuffing things.
Dashing in is Obey-Kubel.
Throws it in there. Obey-Kubel. Wow, throws it in front.
And that
You're
one
a
knocked away.
goaltender. Very close.
A discussion afterwards.
Very
Kassela
close.
came back and cleared it, might have saved a
close
goal,
enough.
but the Leafs are arguing that it went straight out. I
Gotta
thought
look
it
at what
was
happened there.
off the leg and on. But
Obey-Kubel.
a tough
Yeah, that's a
play there
poor
by
calculation
Forsberg
from
losing
Forsberg,
it.
and then he sort of
it's
flubs
straight
it.
out. That is a penalty. So let's have the discussion. Right there, saving a goal as Camp was trying to get it, but Kassela definitely did not hit the stick of Camp. Well, they don't. And you could see the reaction of Sheldon Keefe as a power play for Ottawa is the 1 goal difference in this game. Keep looking for one that he should have had on that play.
I think I lost my audio because Sheldon Keefe is losing his mind. I don't know what he's shouting about. Well, I do know what he's shouting about.
You know, so often we
but either it hit his stick or it didn't. I think he's still mad about the Marner call, but like that's not how it works.
When it was clearly out.
David Kampf out there for the ozone draw.
Face off won by Norris. Jake Sanderson trying to work it along the boards. Aston Reese colliding there with Hamonic. Good board battle. Puck comes loose for the Leafs. Tried to feed it to Riley, and that was broken up by Giroux. And Morgan Riley will send it right back in. Forsberg up around. Alex DeBrincat.
Sens whipping it around.
Hamonic. And that will be icing Ottawa.
And an icing call. Going in favor of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Happening on the Buzzer newsletter. Subscribe today.
The good and bad news is I think Sheldon Keefe has spent more calories tonight and is sweating more profusely than any member of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
There's another shift where they kept the pressure on.
No, actually no, that's just all bad. From an entertainment standpoint, that's cool. Good, yeah, we can stick with that.
Sheldon Keefe hopes he can
from a winning the game standpoint, not so good. William Nylander driving the net, loses the puck. He keeps going, stops up. Good job of it too. Tries to get it through, and Forsberg cuts off the pass and holds on to it. 1:35 to go here in this first period.
Tavares, as he so often does, can dig in and keep that pressure on. Nylander just sort of lost control. He had a chance to maybe drive in, make a deep play. Good stop back there.
Nylander with a great stop up there.
Across. Forsberg with good stick positioning there.
I gotta say though, that pass to Tavares, it would have been slick. It's a low percentage play. That's a nice play from Justin Hall. Drives the net. Sens ripping him out of it.
Back for Muzzin. Nylander covers the point.
Willie filling in on the point.
Lofts it into the corner.
Leafs keep it deep. Man, they've really kept the Sens in their own zone so far in this game, but not a huge advantage in shots and a disadvantage on the scoreboard. And here's going to be a odd man rush. Thomas Chabot! Stop. Oh!
Blocked by Muzzin.
Here come the Sens. This has been this game so far. Leafs hem them in, and then the Sens come flying and seem to get the better opportunities. Wide open Chabot at the point. Comes in. Leafs are whacking at it. About 45 seconds to go in the first. Malgin slightly overskating, but applying pressure at very least. Shot from Chabot. Good save by Samsonov, but a rebound that the Sens hold on to. 30 seconds to go here. Leafs looking exhausted. Sens throwing it in front. Leafs not exactly making Samsonov's job easier tonight. Chabot with it again. The dam is gonna break if you don't get it out. Justin Hall has the puck taken off him in the corner. You're either gonna get scored on or take a penalty. Get it out. The Leafs flip it out, and that's a perfect flip. It won't be enough for icing, and the Leafs barely survived the period, down a goal in the inaugural
one done. The shot's 13-11 Toronto, but Shane
period
the power play
of play
for the Senators
in the 2022-23 Battle of Ontario. If you're the Ottawa Senators, some stuff to work on, but more to feel good about.
20 minutes in the books.
If you're the Leafs, you have some things you can build on, but my goodness, the execution so far this season has not been there. It's game 3. It is game 3, but it has not been there. Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle, presented by Coca-Cola. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe. Tell all your friends there's magic when we eat together. There's magic when we cheer together. We will cheer for the Leafs to at very least tie it up.
Mustaches on, locked and loaded this year.
Of course, yeah, of course.
Is it just a comfort thing, or is it a style thing, or is it like...
I think it's just a comfort thing, like...
You're a mustache, full-blown mustache guy.
I think so.
Major disappointment once again for the Toronto Maple Leafs as they will go another season without winning a playoff series.
When you look at, you know, social media, it's like Leaf jokes or can't get the job done or get over that first round thing. Like, what's the difference maker going to be this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, it's fine. Like, I don't care. Like, that stuff doesn't bother me, honestly. Like, it's kind of, like, comical sometimes, too. But I think every team's journey is different. Like, you look at Colorado, like, I'm not sure, maybe, like, the second round, they couldn't get out of the second round for a little bit, or I don't know, like, something like that.
In
like,
Tampa, like, the guy
Tampa, like, it took them years to, like, win, right? Like, they didn't just, like, win right away. And, like, I think every team's, like, journey might be a little bit different. Like, not every team's gonna, like, win right away, like Pitt or Chicago. Like, you know, Tampa, like, it took them a long time with that group to win. Same thing with Colorado. So, I mean, I think every team's journey is different, and I think, you know, we're writing our own story, and obviously we're all working towards the ultimate goal of winning.
Wired home by Austin Matthews.
What's it going to take, you think? Because you guys are a good team.
Yeah,
I mean, it's right there for you, and it's been heartbreaking, I think. Well, everyone talks about their fans, but for you guys, like, you're in there, you're dealing with it, you want to win. Well, what do you think's going to take you to where you want to go? What's a difference maker, you think?
I think it's just breaking through and kind of getting over that hump.
Yeah.
That's kind of been, you know, there for us over the last, like, 6-7 years. So, you know, I think, like, Jumbo, I remember when he told me, he was like, you know, when you win the first round and it goes from, like, 16 teams to 8, and then it's like, wow, like, there's, like, 8 teams left, and, like, you can, like, taste it, right? It's like, we're right there, and it dwindles down pretty quick. So I think it's just kind of breaking through that barrier, that door that, you know, we haven't been able to push through yet, and just kind of getting a taste of it and putting ourselves in that position and going from there.
I was talking to Morgan a little while ago, and I asked him, like, 70? Is 70? He said yes, he guaranteed.
He's so consistent, and he's able to do it at a rate that is incredibly unique. So it's cool.
70?
It's cool to watch.
70 goals?
Yeah, he's got 70.
Where do we see you?
I don't know. I mean, I don't like to really play, like, numbers or anything, like, in my head, or just go out and play. And as long as, you know, I feel like I'm playing well and doing the right things, helping the team win, like, that's like what I'm most focused on. It's just, like, being a leader in the room and making sure that I'm leading by example, the team, myself, like, good habits and stuff. And whether I score 20 goals or 100 goals, like, to me, it doesn't matter, as long as, you know, the team's playing well and we're all doing our part.
On ice, we talk a lot about just plays, opening up, playing teams, playing against pairs. So we try to dissect it, I guess, a little bit, try and go through and see what we can do and try and see what we can do together and open up space for each other. And I think that's kind of how our chemistry started.
Chemistry, gotta have it. You and Mitchie, we've seen it grow. Have you noticed it blossoming and getting to different levels? And what do you see from you two as a duo?
I think we just push each other a lot, too. We're both extremely competitive, and, you know, we both want to obviously accomplish the same goal, and I think, you know, that's what helps going into it. And
that's on ice and off ice, too,
yeah,
though, right?
Yeah,
like, you guys
have
are
a great
boys.
relationship off the ice, too,
Yeah.
and I think that's grown a lot over the years as well. And, you know, you always want to, you know, be the best version of yourself that you can be, and I think that helps us push each other on the ice, as well as leaders in the locker room, and just trying to set the example for everybody.
This could be a hard question, in particular just because it's you. Steph Curry said a few weeks ago that, like, he wants to finish his career in Golden State, but he said it'd be cool to play in Charlotte. And the reason why is he was born there. He just thinks it would be cool. I've asked this question to other guys.
I wonder what you're gonna ask me.
I know. Is there any kind of particular, like, I was a Habs fan, it's crazy here, the Leafs people here, but I got to play there at the end of my career. It's just like a childhood dream. Is there any particular place, your hometown or anything? Or you're where your feet are, man?
I'm where my feet are. Next question.
Good answer.
Hi, I'm Tim Stützle. Welcome to Mannheim.
Let's go.
Let's go.
There are a lot of reasons to be excited about Tim Stützle if you're an Ottawa Senators fan.
He's really young, and the future is really bright.
The architecture in these European cities is incredible.
There's the water tower. Let's go there.
Saw this at night. It's pretty spectacular.
That's the most famous place in Mannheim.
So where are we here?
I'm gonna show you where I usually train.
Okay. Where am I going? Right or left?
Right
here?
on the right side, right here. It's right here, you see?
Oh, okay.
360.
Yeah.
That's where I usually train, like 3 times a week. I'm there.
Push, push, push. Come on. Go, go, go. 1, 2, 3. And up. Push, push. Good.
I'm going to slow down, let you pass me so you can lead the way.
Right there. There's like a nice coffee, like right here on the right side.
Yeah.
We'll spend a couple nice evenings there.
So Tim, one thing that's really obvious is this is a not fooling around off season for you. You're serious about the eating, the sleeping, the training, everything. Why'd you change all this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't felt the way I wanted to feel last year when I came into this season. I talked to the trainer and he said we got to change something. He basically took care of me and just wanted me to be the best in shape for the next year. And I think I tried to eat as healthy as I could, but right now it's like more gluten-free and caffeine is not good for me, like coffee and stuff.
How much better and stronger do you feel?
Way better. My whole body is like, I think, yeah, really ready for the next year.
Stützle, left wing, shoots, scores! Oh man, that is gorgeous.
What's been your most favorite moment in the NHL so far?
I would say on the ice, which was pretty cool, was my first goal.
Stützle, one-timer, scores! Stützle, his first NHL goal.
What a moment for the youngster.
And off the ice for sure, when the kids threw their hats for the hat trick, that was definitely a moment I'll never forget.
So you're going to play center this year, full time. You've got 2 line mates, Giroux and DeBrincat. How much are you looking forward to playing with them?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be so much fun. I think to be able to learn from guys like that, I think that's going to be a huge part of my development. I think it's great for all of our young group to have a guy like that where we can learn from him.
What's going to make you happy this year, Tim?
Making the playoffs, yeah, that's for sure. I think that's, for me, goal number 1. I don't really look at my personal stats that much. I just want to make the playoffs because I think if I play well and the whole team plays well, then we're going to make the playoffs for sure. Should we go to the ice cream spot then?
Okay. So I have to say, this is definitely going to be the highlight of my trip.
You love ice cream, right?
I love ice cream.
Be careful here.
Yeah. So this is the inventor of spaghetti ice cream.
Yes, that's the inventor. So now we got the famous spaghetti ice right in front of us.
This is your favorite ice cream in the world?
Yeah, it is.
Is your trainer going to see you eat this and be furious?
I hope not. Why don't you try it first?
Right.
You try it first.
That's fantastic. I love my ice cream. That's fantastic.
You like it?
Oh yeah, it's great. You know, these are going to end up on camera as outtakes, so I hate you all who are going to do this to me.
That's the perfect finish for the day, all right?
That's a perfect way to end the piece.
We will have another edition of Elliot Friedman Eats Delicious Things with NHL Superstars at second intermission. Hello and welcome back to watch. I almost said watch the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's muscle memory at this time. We're not quite there yet, Stephen. Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle, presented by Coca-Cola. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends now. How do you feel about a contest? I feel pretty good about it. It's in the chat right now. Sportsnet.ca/magic moments. You can win cash. You can win cold, hard cash. Well, not actually. It's cold, hard, like Visa or MasterCard. $350 though. Think of what you could do with that. You could get, I don't know, like 3-4 popcorns at an Oilers game? No, that's a lot. I can think of you could You can buy all kinds of Coca-Cola. Take your sweetheart out. You can do whatever you want. But what you need is to watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle, presented by Coca-Cola, every Saturday, because we're going to have a different code word every Saturday. And if you're not watching, well, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. And you got to enter it when I give it to you, sportsnet.ca/magic moments. Your code word is, do you want to hear it? Refreshing. Refreshing. If you were really paying attention earlier, I dropped it. I dropped a refreshing in there. It's like when Jesse Pinkman says Breaking Bad in Breaking Bad. You're like, he said the name of the program. Except you didn't know. Intermission in progress. 1-0 Senators after frankly, a strange first period of play. And by the way, I should throw out that after this game, which is a lot of fun, there will be the player cast. That's right. It does not end. We got the Battle of Ontario with me, and we got the player cast afterward. Battle of Alberta. What's better than that? Craig Rive, Andrew Peters, PJ Stock, and a cast of others, I believe. Mystery, intrigue, as the season goes on. But you hear some guy from YouTube, you didn't grow up playing the sport, yells and screams, and then you'll have a totally different pace with three guys who have been there. They've taken the bumps, they've scored the goals, they've won the games on the player cast, all of which presented by Coca-Cola. Saturdays, youtube.com/sportsnet. That's what you tell your mom and dad. For yourself, you're just like, oh, yeah, you go to YouTube and you type Sportsnet. That's what we do. First intermission. First period. Do you want to have a look at what happened? Because we got technology like that. There's Michael Bunting's cheeky little between the legs play. That would have been really cool and replayed forever. It did not go in, stopped by Anton Forsberg. Claude Giroux setting up Shane Pinto on the power play for the only goal of the game so far. Pinto's first goal of the season. Claude Giroux, first assist as a member of the Ottawa Senators. Jake Sanderson's first NHL point. Mitch Marner, and in particular Sheldon Keefe, very, very upset with the penalty that led to this Ottawa power play goal. Yeah, Shane Pinto just all alone. David Kampf not quite getting there in time. Again, the Leafs are down a man. It's just a slick pass from Giroux and a great shot from Pinto. It's good execution. Speaking of good execution, this stretch pass from TJ Brodie to Alex Kerfoot. Looks like he tries to lift the puck and flubs it. And this was the most painful moment of the period. Oy! I believe it's Jake Sanderson taking the slap shot. Sandin blocking it with his ankle. Samsonov was actually pretty solid in that period. Brodie hitting the side of the net. Sen's getting way too many odd man rushes and just flurries like this. Not that that was an odd man rush, but it was a flurry. A lot of Leafs out there looking confused. And speaking of confused, if you're a goaltender, tend the goal. Nicola Aube-Kubel generating maybe the Leafs' best chance to score in that period. David Kampf does not beat Kastelik to the puck. That puck, by the way, went out over the glass. The refs talk. Keefe yells a big old bunch. No way! No way! I didn't notice Kerfoot's face the first time. God, that's funny. That is funny. And all that leads to the Leafs are down 1-0. No bueno. Let me throw something at you. I'm not going to throw it too hard. I'll just lob it. Okay? Without getting into all the cap gymnastics. Because frankly, I don't know them. We know how snug the Leafs were to the cap with LTIR and all that. They were compliant to start the season by $4. People have pointed out a few things now that Matt Murray is on LTIR, which means the earliest he is eligible to come back is 24 days from now. And I believe over those 24 days, he's going to miss 10 games. Or the rule is LTIR is you got to miss at least 24 days or 10 games, whichever comes first, I guess. The Leafs no longer have to trade Wayne Simmons, so he could come up. Nick Robertson didn't make the team because of cap reasons and also waiver reasons. Maybe now he can come up. That could be interesting. But what about this? Let me just lob this at you. There's a goalie out there. A goalie out there I'm sure you're well aware of. They're near and dear to your heart. And this goalie is caught in a situation where he's on the same team as Kaapo Kähkönen, who is very obviously the goalie of the future for this organization. That organization is the San Jose Sharks. And the goalie I'm referring to, on an expiring contract, with a modified no-trade clause, I should add, with a cap hit of just 2.25, James Reimer. Bring him home! Give me what I want! We're going to call up Eric Shelgren. That's not what I want! You know what I want! Give it to me! To quote Dave Bautista from wrestling fame, give me what I want. James Reimer back with the Leafs. I'm wearing a Carolina Hurricanes James Reimer blanket right now because I'm cold. That wasn't even planned. I was just very cold. The Carolina Hurricanes themselves sent that to me. The Hurricanes love ripping on me. Can't imagine why. David Ayers. But every now and then they send me like stuff. They send me a David Ayers shirt. They sent me a bunch of Jerks shirt. And they sent me this incredibly warm and amazing. Soft. Look at the inside of it. Right? Sent me this James Reimer blanket. Now, I'll have to find a different blanket if there are any Saturday games between the Leafs and Hurricanes this season. I don't know if there are. I don't have any time to find out because the second period is underway. Leafs, Sens, Battle of Ontario. Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle, presented by Coca-Cola. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe. Tell all your friends. The Leafs are down. Oh, wow. That was... How did the Sens stay onside there?
Over Zoom,
it's the little things.
Center.
Whoa!
Oh. Breaking away was bunting.
That was almost a partial break for the Leafs. Speaking of partial break, here come the Sens. Oh boy, the Sens. As soon as the Leafs are doing a good job of holding the Sens out of their zone. Boy, when the Sens get in though, it's a problem. It's nightmares back there.
Here comes DeBrincat.
There's Alex DeBrincat.
Puts it right
throws
on.
it on. Stopped by Samsonov. Cleared
Marner starts back. He gives
by
it
the
to
Leafs.
Morgan
Riley. Chugga stride. Getting in there. John Tavares throws it in front. Shoots. Oh! Rebound did not bounce, fortunately, and another partial 2-on-1. Morgan Riley trying to direct traffic back there. And the puck goes wide again. The Sens, it feels like every time they cross that blue line, it's a scoring chance. And here comes another one. Good gravy. Not good enough from the Toronto Maple Leafs so far. Feels like the right time to mention Timothy Liljegren resumed skating today. Holy mackerel.
Pinto away with the puck at center.
Shane Pinto, who has
with
the
a
game's
power
only
play
goal so
in the
far,
first period.
brings
Looking
it
for
in.
Brent,
Stopped
cut
up.
off by Kerfoot, and back the other way along with
There's
Yarncroke.
Kerfoot, and the Leafs come out with it.
Jumping up is
Here's the
Giordano.
third line.
And
Shoots!
that was
Behind the
just
net.
tipped wide. Yarncroke from the corner.
By the way, you can hear the game.
Cycles it
I
back
cannot.
around.
I
Kerfoot
forgot
up
that
there
you
by
didn't.
Zaitsev.
If you've been watching since last year, ooh,
Zaitsev
that
knocked
hit
his man
went
down. Giordano
not good.
has
If you
trouble with
watched
his
last
footing,
year,
and
you
now
knew
it's
that.
played past him. And it's
If you haven't been
icing
watching
against the
since last
Senator.
year, you
I
don't
think
know that.
fans were excited to see the Battle of Ontario take a little bit of
Nylander.
an extra heat, and you've seen
Hey, when
it
did
in
he
this
shave?
game. How about this play down low?
I thought he looked
knees,
different.
Tavares
Oh,
to
he had a
Nylander,
great opportunity to
Forsberg
score
able
there,
get
and the
the
puck
pad there. The
just
puck
ends up in
bounced over
Mulligan's feet.
But good job coming back.
Sens
on
bring it
both
the other
sides.
way.
Got transition each way. There's Sanderson looking for.
I liked Riley
score, as
directing
you
traffic
mentioned.
there. I didn't like him
Good
getting
end-to-end
caught.
action, and the one thing, Chris, you can't be watching
But
a play
there's
that
been
you miss
two
at one end because it's
instances,
coming back the other
at
end
least in the first two
transition
games,
so quickly.
with the Leafs, where there's been an odd man rush and no one doing actually anything. They've just sort of been standing there in no man's land, not taking the pass or the shot. Matthews was stopped on the backhand there. The top line comes back. They hold it in.
It comes for Marner, a one-touch pass. Disrupted by Shabbat.
This is like elevated preseason hockey, just complete sloppiness. But a lot of fun. Jake Muzzin rips it high and wide and out. Wendell Clark was Ilya. Why? Turnover.
See if it continues
cow.
on. Harder to make the change.
Wendell Clark was
in
the
this
celebrity
second
that I got to play with at last year's Easter Seals tournament.
Is
as we
a
get
racing
nice.
call against Toronto.
I've talked a lot about transition, and how about goaltenders?
Just talked about those high and wide shots.
How about that pass? A bounce one right to Michael Bunting. That was going to be a close offside. I thought Marner was maybe over before Bunting got it over, but the pressure subsided. The play goes back the other way, but a good heads-up play by Samsonov to make that outlet pass.
A little later, there was some miscommunication between Samsonov and the Leaf defense. Something to watch for. He had a little trouble on one occasion in the game against Washington.
Want to bet? You can do it at Canada's Sportsbook. Sports interaction, made for Canadians by Canadians.
Here's DJ Smith again going with his fourth line in the neutral zone and almost baiting Sheldon Keefe. And until they can win that matchup, he's just trying to put him in a position. You never know where the face-offs. They've been struggling to win them, so a neutral zone one. And now if Tavares line's trying to take advantage of that kind of matchup.
Out comes Parker Kelly, first NHL goal on his first shot in his first game against Toronto. Forsberg hangs on to that, and this fourth line for Ottawa's got some physicality, and they'll stir things up.
Yeah, not afraid to get a little bit of sandpaper involved, and you got some motivated guys. I mean, there's competition for jobs this year in Ottawa. The excitement on the top end with the skilled players that Pierre Dorian added on.
As I was saying, you know what's a fun text to get? My mom said, just saw the Coca-Cola commercial. That is not a text I ever expected to receive when I was a kid. Also, when I was a kid, I would have said, what's a text? Because I'm an old. I'm one of those olds. What is it? Geriatric millennial? I'm not a geriatric millennial. I will scream this from the rooftops until I die. And this player applies to both the Senators and Leafs. Ron Hainsey is a millennial. He is. Do with that information what you will. Here come the Toronto Maple Leafs. Again, a whole lot of semi-dangerous looking nothing is the best way to describe their offense so far. Samsonov leaves his net. I wish he wouldn't. Sandin recovered from that stinger earlier in the game. He blocked a really painful looking shot. Oh, great job staying on side for nothing. Sandin back. Added to his shopping list, ice packs. Engvall was such an impressive player last year. And I haven't loved him through these first 3 games. And it's not that he's looked bad. He hasn't really looked like anything. Oh, Sandine going in hard. Engvall didn't get a lot of preseason due to an injury. I believe it was his foot, and his whole game is speed with his feet. Power stride. So hopefully he gets it back together. Again, boy, Leafs just not crisp at all. But here they come. It's funny how many shots and how much ozone time they've got, despite the fact that they don't seem to be able to make a single pass. Here comes Mitch Marner. Oh, the moves. Maybe one too many of them as the Sens chip it out. Jake Muzzin bats it down in the neutral zone, and the Leafs come right back in. Here's Mitch Marner. Whoa! Up and over the net goes Michael Bunting. Marner again. That's a low percentage pass. And you usually let Mitch Marner get away with those because he takes a lot of low percentage passes and turns them into high percentage ones. And if they connect with Austin Matthews, they end up in the net. There's another terrible pass that causes the Leafs to have to get back onside. Boy, oh boy, how are the Leafs out shooting the Sens tonight? As we get an icing call from the Leafs, another blown pass. Shout out to Liam and Cass, by the way. I'm doing that. I've decided I'm doing that. Here on Watch, watch out. Here on Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle, presented by Coca-Cola. Oh yeah, the Marner call from the first period is a penalty, but not that. For sure. They're cracking down until they're not cracking down. That's a joke of a missed call. Leafs haven't had a power play yet. Majority of the possession, but not a power play yet. Okay. That's not a penalty, but the Kerfoot one was from the first game. Okay. Okay. Good league. Thomas Chabot. Highest average ice time in the National Hockey League since 1920. With 26 minutes and 8 seconds per game. Second behind him is Drew Doughty. He's part of the reason why... Whoa! Josh Norris almost burying it. You know what? Never mind Drew Doughty. Let's talk about this game. Leafs fourth line, breaking it out. Stuffed by the Sens at the blue line. Is this going to be ice? Yes, it is. It'll go to the offensive zone. And are we going to get the top line, or are we going to get Willie and Tavares? With Malgin, the driver of it all. Oh, Josh Norris got a piece of that. Samsonov would have had no chance. He was squared up to the shot that was coming, not the shot that was tipped. It's Tavares out there, but he loses the draw. Sens flip it out. And, oh boy, is that going to be a penalty? Better not be. Sheldon's going to blow a blood vessel. If you missed the first period, oh, was Sheldon Keefe a grumpy Gus. He was rather upset. And he was rather correct, to be fair.
Tavares on the draw. Lost that one. That's the first he has lost tonight. Ottawa with possession to bring it on the tape for Norris. He'll send it down, and the Senators will make a change.
Leafs putting together some shifts to build off of. It's just, again, they're... A pass needs to hit tape at some point, for goodness sake. Here come the Sens. Not an odd man rush. Played that decently well. Easy stop from Samsonov, and what was that? What was that in front of the net? 1-0 Sens, Scotiabank Arena. watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle, presented by Coca-Cola. Every game day means being together is magic. See how I didn't read that? And I remembered it right from the top of my head. There's magic when we cheer together. That's the one. That's the one. I like that. I'm always talking about magic in hockey because I truly believe it's a thing. Like, genuinely, truly believe that magic in hockey is a thing. How could you not? The comebacks that we've seen in recent years, the improbable moments, the improbable events. We saw the Leafs lose to one of their own employees. And it wasn't the most magical for the Toronto Maple Leafs, perhaps, but it was magical for that guy and the Carolina Hurricanes, who used to employ that guy. Past and future Leafs goalie, James Reimer. It's going to happen. Speak it into existence. Do, 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 do.
So much optimism in the Ottawa.
I got Thatcher Demko in my pool.
Nobody wants to follow the pattern of the last few years in Ottawa.
There we go. Diego asked, should I be worried about the Canucks? My response is, Diego, should I be worried about the Canucks? Last year in fantasy, I went overzealous drafting goalies. This year, the first goalie I drafted was Thatcher Demko. So, listen, he's a great goalie. He's going to play a lot of games. And the Canucks, to me, look improved. But they blew a 3-0 lead to Edmonton, and you're like, all right, well, that's what Edmonton does. And then they blow a lead to Philly, and you're like, all right, they might actually be in trouble. Kerfoot. Bizarre stop up at the blue line. I'm surprised the Leafs are onside right now.
Kerfoot takes it away from Stützle, and then gets knocked down, draws a penalty.
Oh boy!
Maple Leafs will get their
Leafs head to the power play for the first time.
Prime example of keeping a play alive offensively.
And we didn't even have to wait till the halfway mark of the game. It must be my birthday. Tim Stützle. There have been 2 penalties in this game, and they both suck. Oh boy. I'm sorry, the Marner one was soft, and that one's soft too. Fair is fair. I didn't see too much arguing.
We're on a 1 for 7 with the man advantage. They were 1 for 3 on a John Tavares goal 2 nights ago.
Leafs, first power play of the game, an opportunity to tie it. John Tavares loses the first draw, though. Nylander can't quite hold it at the line.
Another example of how confident they are in their
so the Leafs will regroup.
Young prize defenseman.
They do that fun slingshotty thing where they gain momentum. And Marner is stuffed, and now they got to go back and do that slingshotty thing again. Here's Riley with that chugga, and it works. Matthews crosses the line, gets it back to Riley, and now the Leafs are set up. One-timer from Matthews. Fan goes just wide. The Leafs hold on to it. Marner to the point.
Marner across. William Nylander. Riley
teams are really giving the Leafs a tough time. Oh, on this power play early this season, the Sens dump it. And it's at that awkward time left in the power play to Sheldon Keefe leave the top unit out there. The way things are being called tonight, you never know when you're going to get back out there on the power play, and this might be a line change here. Nope. Still no. Oh boy, I've seen enough. This top unit is struggling, and we got about 40 seconds. I saw David Halter, so I didn't know this. He tweeted another "Let's Go Leafs" chant has started up by fans at Scotiabank Arena. The Rock started a movement. I love that 20,000 people were too polite to correct the Rock. That's actually the wrong chant, sir. If that's not Canadian, I don't know what is. Under 20 seconds to go here in this Leafs power play. Hasn't looked dangerous so far. We'll see if that changes quickly.
Up high it goes to Morgan. The veteran Giordano.
On!
Shot goes off Morgan.
Rebound.
Back to Giordano
Yarncroke
again.
manages to get it back to the point. Leafs with an opportunity for one more shot here. Malgin! Oh, what a play! Oh, good play. Doesn't work out. Now the Sens come back the other way. 0 shots on goal on that power play. I don't know if that's going to stand after that last little flurry there. Very close.
Yarncroke would have had a chance for maybe a tap in on the side, but a really good stick by Mott as he came across.
Ooh, apparently the Leafs power play was getting booed. Dude, I mean, it was pretty bad. They were first place in the NHL last year. And listen, people are going to say, oh, it's early in the season. Like, yes. Like, listen, you're right. You're right. Nothing about what you said is wrong. But you cannot expect Leaf fans to just ignore recent history. They're mad. They're mad, man. It's an angry fan base. Or at very least displeased. Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle, presented by Coca-Cola. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe. Tell all your friends. There's magic when we cheer together. Like you appear in people's homes and help them with things like you give them a high five or you flip the bottle cap off. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, first of all, shame on you. And second of all, I'm talking about the Coke commercial that I'm in. Because I'm in one. Did I mention that? Coca-Cola. It was magic when we cheer together. So maybe that's a message that there's magic when we cheer together. Maybe instead of booing the power play that, was not very good on that last play, but was ranked #1 in the league last season, maybe for the hockey game that you paid to attend on a Saturday night, you cheer for the team you like. What if you did that? That feels like the far more fun thing. James, does JT seem faster? You know what, James? I'm going to say yes. Because you're not the first one to bring that up. I've seen several people bring it up. And it makes sense. Like, people were so hard on Tavares last year, forgetting that he had a very, very serious concussion. I don't remember if there was a neck injury associated, but he had a bad concussion at the beginning of that Montreal playoff series. And coinciding with that concussion was a knee injury. So you can only imagine what that summer was like for John Tavares, and I'm probably going to classify it. I'm going to imagine we can classify it as suboptimal. You know what I mean?
One team, that seems a little
and
bit.
I mean, he was fresh as a daisy when I spoke to him at Leafs Media Day. Like, great attitude, quadzilla. The guy's got the biggest legs in the world. And speed has never been the name of his game. And that goes back to June.
Getting a shot right on. Following up Batherson.
People forget, like, just because you're a certain age doesn't mean you can't get better. You're eventually going to slow down. Like, even Yager is contemplating retirement. You know what I mean? But a 33-year-old can be better than a 32-year-old. Or however old Tavares is. I believe he's younger than that. Eventually, the fall-off will come. Unless you're, like, I don't know, Joe Pavelski, for example. That guy does not care about your age curve. Oh, the Sens attacking! A rebound! How isn't that in? And the Leafs turn it back up the other way. Marner stops up, can't get the pass through. Gets that one through, though. The Leafs offside, though. Oh, boy, their execution is ugly tonight. But I don't know how they kept that out. Maybe that save or block or whatever it happened to be can be a moment that the Leafs build on for the rest of this game in hoping to tie the thing. For goodness sake. Rasmus Sandin clearing it. Sens, after getting outshot in the first, are out shooting the Leafs here in the second. The Leafs still have the advantage
There's a long stretch that
in
gets
shot
past
attempts.
Tavares, icing Toronto.
Well, we talked about the goal scoring.
I think we're going to
for
get
Austin Matthews,
another
but sometimes it gets
look at
lost.
what
It's
on
the things
earth
you have
happened
to
there.
do on a
Justin
key
Hall,
matchup defensively.
pizza!
There's a bad pass that gets turned over.
Hall and Matthews with an early season miscommunication. You don't say. Matthews might have blocked that himself. Let's see. He did. Oh, with his hand, too. He definitely got at least a piece of it.
Good opportunity to get his first.
I tell you what, early in the season last year when the Leafs weren't playing well, Matthews and Hall had a blow-up on the bench. Matthews screamed at him, and Hall was scratched for the next 5 games.
Really solid period for the Ottawa Senators.
This year with Liljegren injured, I don't think that's an option.
Second period saw them with a letdown in Buffalo. Gave up 2
Interesting.
goals in less than 3 minutes.
Nylander throws it on.
Gets a shot away. Now
Didn't get the
TJ
full
Brody.
torque on it, but the Leafs hold on to it.
Morgan.
Teams have done a very good job of keeping the Leafs to the outside so far this season. Montreal did it. Washington wasn't quite as successful. Sens are doing a good job, but that got through.
Back behind the net. Nylander's on the move again.
Gonna have to drive the net at some point, boys, as the Sens collect it again
And the Senators will
and
work
make their
up
way
the
out of the
center.
zone. Shane
Turn it
Pinto
over there.
wanting a slap.
Brody will tap it back in.
So, Chris, for the Leafs now, this is where you got to follow up an offensive zone shift with another one. And they haven't been able to get the momentum. You get an icing here, get a top line out, and get some momentum going. That's what this game is all about. And right on cue, Sheldon Keefe. The Matthews line wasn't up, but you finally get some traction. You get a tired lineup for the Ottawa Senators. You get a defensive pairing that you like to
Ozone
see.
draw
The
here for the
tired
Leafs
sights
off
up.
the icing.
And now you get
The
Matthews
big
out to
line
try to take
out
advantage
there.
of it.
Hall and Muzzin out there with them.
For over a minute and a half. Hall in
Oh!
Marner.
On!
Matthews.
Rebound!
Stopped by
Matthews! Stopped by Forsberg!
Stripped that away. Marner
Sens
gets it
reeling
back.
right now. Marner,
There's a
good
chance in
fight.
front
Rebound again.
to-
Leafs
helmet
retain
kick.
it. Oh, Muzzin wants it. Give it to him.
Chance to the
Matthews
side.
rebound
Matthews
again.
trying to go between the legs.
Oh, you got to
Still
tie it here, for
available.
goodness sake.
Marner took a whack
Marner
at it.
battling in
Trying
there.
to knock it loose
Dogged.
again.
Sens
Finally
clear it, but this is going to be a desperation
Senators.
icing
They've
again,
gotten
or
up
is it?
icing,
No,
so
it's
Ottawa
not.
gets
That
a
is a
much-needed
great
change.
clear from the Ottawa Senators off the
Marner will
Leafs.
drop it back
Best
in.
chance to score so far in this game. Marner interfered with. We're going to ignore it.
Matthews. Marner feeds the point.
Long
TJ
shift here for the
Brody.
Leafs top line, but
Morgan
why not?
Riley.
They're doing great.
Centers in front.
Oh, they throw it in front.
That was behind.
Goes
Marner
over
with
everybody.
hits off. Michael Bunting on the
Bunting
move.
driving behind the net.
Morgan Riley will play it around
Matthews
to his
throws it around for
defense
Brody, who
partner.
has to receive it on his backhand, the lefty on the right there.
Deep where Shabbat waiting for it.
And you see what I mean by the Sens have been keeping the Leafs to the outside. Look at that ozone time. Shoo! Kerfoot to Matthews, shoots it, doesn't get through.
Parker Kelly's away.
And here come the Sens as the fourth line dumps it.
Shift that was a combination of two. And
Kerfoot can't clear. That's a lazy play, trying to skate around a weak clearing attempt.
Now Yarn broke for Riley.
Doesn't bite the Leafs too hard, though. Riley, that's a clever pass to Engvall. Fires it on, doesn't get all of it.
Off the stick of Forsberg.
But Yarncrow keeps it alive. Tries to get to Engvall behind the net. Again, these guys are just... They're out of sync. They don't know where each other are. They don't know how to feed each other a pass.
Stützle fumbled the puck at the line.
The team we saw the Leafs ice in the third period against Washington wasn't the same as the team that they had in the first 2 periods. And the Leafs got to hope that's what happens in this one. That as this game continues, they find it. It's been going better in recent minutes. Can't argue against that. Kampf bats it down. That could be a hand pass. Doesn't look like... Yes, it is. Well, it's going to be something. It's a whistle, at very least.
Oh, they had their opportunity with a tired group and a couple of long shifts in the offense.
Is Kampf getting the penalty?
Here, though, the bouncing puck.
He didn't close his hand on it. Is it Sandin for the hook? Oh, boy! No way! Was that a penalty? Was that a penalty? No way. Oh, Tim Stützle is going to get lit up for that online. No way. No way. Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle, presented by Coca-Cola. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends. Here it is again. Oh, he doesn't even fall in the direction he's... Look at this. Look at this. It's Kampf's, I believe, left arm on Stützle's right. He elbows Kampf in the face, grabs his arm, and falls. He elbows him in the face, grabs his arm, and falls. That's horrible. Please tell me that wasn't called. Please tell me it was the hand pass. Please. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yep, Sen's going on the power play with just under 5 minutes to go in the second. That is shocking stuff from Tim Stützle. You know, I think, generally speaking, I think the treatment Tim Stützle has gotten since the Brendan Gallagher comments about him embellishing or diving, generally speaking, I think the treatment he's gotten has been unfair. That's awful. That was awful. Unless there was something we missed there with, like, his feet. Did he get tripped? Like, here, I'm watching the replay one more time on Twitter. Aw, Tim, that's shocking. You got to be better than that. You got to be better than that. And the Sens, with their only goal of the game, scored on the power play. Leafs top penalty killing center now in the box. The Sens with a chance to go up 2-0. 1 for 1 so far. Tim, that's shocking. Be better, buddy. Be better. That's terrible.
That's quite a message, isn't it? This line starting again. It's not necessarily your quote-unquote number one, but they got the first time and they scored, and they get the second time here.
Claude Giroux coming in.
With the discussion of who should be on the power plays, DJ Smith has said,
here come the Leafs.
You stay. You stay.
Aston Reese can't get around. One thing the Sens did really well on that first power play was hold on to possession. Would not let the Leafs clear the zone. Did a great job of hemming them in. Marner is a big part of putting pressure on the blue line, and obviously he was in the box there. We got to whistle what... oh, the net's off. Yeah, you need those. You need the net.
Example of the difference of this year's Ottawa Senators, having those kind of options to have two really good...
Thank you for reminding me to take a sip. Coca-Cola lower third thing.
On power plays to Brinket, his ability.
Timmy Stutz, buddy.
Now you come back with the one that I think everybody expected.
Shout out Jesse Blake. Yeah, that's... That penalty call's really bad, man.
Going. So you get a
Yuck.
8. You don't think this group is trying to score badly now to send the message to their coach?
Keep it up, man. Keep it up.
Norris and
It happened to Kadri, it'll happen to you.
Stick of TJ Brody on goal.
Refs aren't stupid. They don't like getting embarrassed. They'll eventually stop calling them. It happened to Kadri, it'll happen to you.
Of the season until Ottawa with a breakthrough in the first period.
Oh, good puck work from the Sens, forcing Mark Giordano to make a painful block. Under 45 seconds to go here on the Sens power play. Tim Stützle has the puck poked off him. Gets it right back. Looking for a... Oh, what a play! It off the post! Brady Tkachuk.
There's a confident-looking power play. They moved the puck efficiently.
Within inches. Nay, it's hockey night in Canada. Centimeters. And also Zed. And also honor, spelled with a U. Of tying it. No, not tying it. Going up 2-0. Here come the Leafs on a shorthanded 3-on-2. Engvall flubs it, throws it on. Aubé-Kubel alone in front somehow. What a mess. But the Leafs kill it off. And here comes David Kampf out of the box. He's going to join the player, go to the bench. Looks like go to the bench. As the Sens have it.
At the end of the power play.
But the Leafs kill the penalty. Matthews out there. With Bunting, and I imagine Nylander. No, Marner's still out there, it looks like. It's often Nylander if Marner was just out there for the penalty kill.
Ottawa gets it organized. Here's Eric Cranstrom, who came on late in the preseason.
Oh, here come the Sens. Oh, boy.
Position on the team. Ottawa can't get out. That one
I've been ragging on the Leafs execution all night. If the Sens execution was a little better, they'd have like 5 goals. Those passing plays have come close a few times.
Bunting along the boards. Matthews in support. And now played past Marner and out. Back in Mark Giordano. Jake Sanderson has that get by him, and it got past Marner too. Sandin hounded by DeBrincat.
Sandin.
Great pass though.
Fun little play, but you're playing with fire, bud.
Turned back by Hamonic.
Sens just smothering the Leafs.
Up the boards, DeBrincat with a one-touch. And
really making it difficult for the Leafs to just like go up the middle and have some fun. Habs did the same thing in game 1. Oh, dangerous but nifty play from Tavares. We got a breakaway for Nylander, shoots! Oh, just misses. I think it might have gone off the bar. Matthews, incredible play, tries to get to Nylander, it doesn't work. Leafs attacking, Sens sprawling. You got an opportunity here, boys. Tavares tries to find Matthews, can't. Tavares digging for it.
After the penalty kill,
Giordano holds the zone, loses it, and the Sens will clear it. Leafs really getting close here in the back half of this second period. Still unable to solve Anton Forsberg.
Nylander moves in.
Tavares to Nylander.
William Nylander flipped the back end, but may have grazed the crossbar.
Yeah, I think it did, just up and under the bar.
Here comes Tim Stützle. Oh boy, he's got help.
It's taken away.
So do the Leafs. Nylander taking it off of Brady Tkachuk, trying to actually murder him. Justin Hall is a forward now. What is this play? What is this setup? It might work. Jake Muzzin likes to shoot. He does! And the tip goes in! David Kampf ties the game for the Toronto Maple Leafs in number 64 with 16.4 left on the clock. Makes it 1-1 here in the Battle of Ontario with a little thanks to Nylander on the bench for that defensive play. There's Brady Tkachuk coming so close to putting the Sens up 2-0. Nylander so close to tying it, a tale of 2 posts. And Jake Muzzin loves to shoot that thing. And David Kampf, with his stick on the ice, puts it perfectly right in there on Anton Forsberg's 5-hole.
Opportunity, and David Kampf gets his first of the season.
1943.
And we will head to intermission with the score 1-1 unless someone does something very silly in the next few seconds, which is always a possibility. Oh my God, here come the Sens. Please don't! Okay, they don't.
To end the second period.
There were like 9 seconds left when I started that sentence, and even then I was like, you shouldn't. I did, anyway. But David Kampf, hilariously, had 1 goal in his final season with the Chicago Blackhawks, comes to Toronto, and all of a sudden he's a goal scorer. Last year, while being the shutdown center, he did a great job and scored some goals. This year, Game 3, ties it up with a big one heading right into intermission. Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle, presented by Coca-Cola. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends. There's magic when we cheer together. See? See? Wasn't that a little bit better? Wasn't that a little bit better than booing your power play? Your own power play. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was. Magic when we cheer together. So cheer. Gosh darn you. Let's have another look at this goal. Wing, bang, boom. Can we see it again? I want that angle again just so we can see Jake Muzzin's reaction. I've never seen a celebration for an assist. Look at Jake. Look at Jake. No, never mind. Look at David Kampf's amazing action. It's coming, says producer Steph. It's a great tip from David Kampf, and it's exactly what Jake Muzzin wanted. Look at him. Watch number 8. Watch him, watch him, watch him. Whee! Muzz Lightyear to the rescue. In flight. Woo, woo. Oh, we do funny things with our bodies when we're excited. Jake Muzzin setting up David Kampf, and all of a sudden, don't you feel better? I do. I feel better as we head to the third period here in this first Battle of Ontario this season. This first watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle of the season, presented by Coca-Cola. Hey, you know who tried to murder William Nylander at the end of that period? Brady Tkachuk. Would you like to see a feature with Brady Tkachuk where he doesn't try to murder William Nylander? Sure, you can watch that coming right up.
Pleased to be joined by Brady Tkachuk. And listen, at this time last year, it was, Matthew Tkachuk watching the Brady Tkachuk drama. How much were you either involved in, paying attention to, amused by the Matthew Tkachuk drama this offseason?
Yeah, no, it was fun. I feel like it was around a year ago today where he came on with you guys and stirred the pot a little bit.
Right. And we still thank him to this day.
Yeah, no, that was it was almost funny right away, but I was like, okay, this kid caught. No, but it ended up all working out. But yeah, no, it's been good. I mean, this summer was definitely crazy for him and a whirlwind, and just to see it happening, kind of being there for when it did, it was pretty surreal, and it just see his happiness telling us that it was awesome.
Just to rewind really quickly to a year ago when he came, we were in Chicago for the Players Tour, and your brother was on with us, and when he started talking about when you're negotiating with one Tkachuk, you're negotiating with all the Tkachuks and everything that he said. What went through your mind when you first heard that?
Yeah, no, it's of course he's always been supportive, and of course on my side with everything, but just when it came to the negotiations, it all came down to my decision, and of course they give advice and stuff like that and different perspectives, but I wanted to be here long term, and that's why I signed here for 7 years, and it's just what I wanted. So of course always appreciated him and my dad's advice, and but at the end of the day they allowed me to make my own decision too.
Brady, as you mentioned, your family, including, your mom and your sister, you guys know sports and you guys know business, and you're still young, but are there other NHL players who ask you your advice just because of how knowledgeable your family is about it, and say, what would you guys do in this situation, or what do you think about this situation?
Yeah, there's been a couple, close buddies who, I've talked to either Matthew or I, just kind of, what they think, and but it's just more being there for them as a friend, and going through whatever options they had, and see what's best for them and what sets them up for, that next contract, that next deal, and whether it's a time frame and stuff like that. So, but I don't think it's more to try to, pick my brain about it. It's just I want to be there for them as a friend, and it's life changing when you sign one of those deals. So just to be able to almost have not a part, but to be there for almost their decision process, it's pretty cool, and it's nice to share that memories with some of my buddies.
What's the best advice you've ever received from anyone in your family?
Well, just in general, my dad grew up watching just more about hockey and the game itself. Just be the hardest worker and be a good teammate, and if you do that, you'll be successful. So that's probably the best advice I've gotten.
It might sound like a weird question because you've just grown up like in hockey, like surrounded by hockey. But at what point, because you're real smart, your brother is real smart, your dad, your mom, like as Elliot mentioned, your sister, like your whole family understands. When did you first start to get it, like the business side, and even just from a hockey point of view, how to maneuver in a salary cap and a maneuver in an area where you're a restricted free agent with not a lot of movement rights, but still able to get yourselves into positions to get big deals? Like, at what point did you just take an interest in the business of it and really start to get a handle on it?
Yeah, no, it was going into it, I was more excited for the process of going through my first negotiation and stuff like that. But as the summer went on, it became more not aggravating, but the excitement went away, and that's when I started figuring out, okay, this is the business, and now with that, it's you want to set yourself up and your future family and your future life, and but also if you sign the best deal possible, you're potentially helping out the guy next to you, and when they negotiate for their contract and all the comparables and all that different type of stuff. So now when I sign that, it's down the road, hopefully it helps another person in that situation too.
You're the captain of this team. I'm always curious. as we went into a huge summer for the Senators, how much did you know about what was going to happen? How much did they tell you about this is going to be our plan?
I didn't know like the full details. I knew that this is there's gonna be a big change and no personnel. So, but as the summer went on and as we got closer to free agency, it was more guys that they're looking at. But didn't really know the official word until right before it was announced. A little heads up, but at the start of the summer they didn't say we're going after this, and this. It's just as they started getting close to being final, that's when they'd let me know just to give a heads up. So no, it was appreciative, but I feel like for 2 weeks there's a lot going on, so I feel like the phone was getting a lot of notifications during that.
Did they ask you your opinion on anyone in particular?
No, just it's I think just have you anybody who knows them and have you heard anything about certain guys? But
okay, so that's what I wanted. Whose name came across your phone that you were like, oh? Yeah,
well, just go with the guys that are team. It's of course you just name the three, and if anything, I was just saying, met those guys, and Talbot's played with Matthew, so of course got a really good review there, so they really enjoyed being together. So it was just of course all great things, and just seeing them now in person, they're even better people than expected. So it's already been fun to hang out with them.
So how long before the DeBrincat deal went down did you know about it? Was it a couple of minutes? Was it?
I was actually in Greece, so I had no clue about it until the next morning because of the time change. So I was already asleep, couldn't stay up for the draft. It was too late. So
wait. Do you expect me to buy that a Kachuk couldn't stay up late to be up in the middle of the night still?
This is new breed.
It was a good day. It was a good day. So we didn't push the limits too far in the night because we had a good time.
What did you think when you saw that, like on your phone? Whoa, DeBrincat.
At first I thought it was a burner account, but then I tapped into it. It was our official team account. I was like, oh, that's pretty surreal, pretty sweet, and just to get a guy like that, and everybody knows the way he plays, but how good of a guy he is. It's we're definitely very lucky.
There's been a lot of debate about should the word playoffs be uttered. As captain, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, well, I think we don't really need to add that extra added pressure from the outside. It's I feel like that just creates almost a distraction if we're putting that name out or putting that word out there and trying to create that pressure from everybody else. But no, we're confident as a group. We're confident to take that next step, and we want to prove to everybody that we're ready for what's to come. And but I don't think we need to say, oh, we'll make it or not. Just I think that we're just ready for the next step.
Final one for me is, what was the best text or message you got from anyone when you were out in Calgary last year in the playoffs?
Just a screenshot of the picture at the beers in the back pocket. I looked at my phone. I was like, oh, what can I do now? So I captured it. I was like, all right, looks like just going to enjoy the game now. So that was probably the best text I got.
Who was it from?
There's multiple people who text me that. And then I saw a couple tweets about it. I was like, okay, people think it's funny. So I was like, well, I'm just here to support Matthew. That's pretty much the only reason why I'm doing it. So that's all I cared about was Matthew. He's like, no, I loved it. So
it was awesome. Speaking of Matthew, last question here. Scale of 1 to 10, how much you looking forward to playing the Panthers?
Yeah, it's probably a 10, but it's not going to be as fun now. It's going to be all business. Those are big points, big divisional games, but it's going to be different. It's going to be an adjustment, but we're both treating it as those 10s, the excitement just to see him, and it's going to be more family coming down now since it's probably easier to get to, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Chuck's in the same time zone. Look out.
Oh boy.
Thanks so much for this. Good luck this season.
Thank you guys.
That's the building where the the one on the left. That's the building where the Toronto Maple Leafs just tied this game. And you can watch this game with Steve Dangle. I'm that guy. Presented by Coca-Cola. Click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends. And hey, would you like $350? I bet you would. Coca-Cola would like to hook you up at that $350. Ilya Samsonov wears 35. That's 10% of 350. That doesn't make any... Shut up. Listen, if you would like $350 or to be entered into a chance to win $350, you go to sportsnet.ca/magic moments. But Steve, I am far too lazy to type that out. That's fine, because as usual, producer Rob did the work for you. It is the pinned comment on the chat. Thank you to producer Rob for doing that. But you need a code word. And if you don't know the code word by now, shame on you. I already told you, but I will tell you again. It was incredibly common TikTok meme. Am I on? Oh, I'm back now. Code words. I don't know if you heard it, but now you have. And there's a thing. Look at that. Look at that thing. How it slides in. It's all slick. It's very slick. So again, sportsnet.ca/magic moments. And you can have an opportunity to win $350. Speaking of magic moments, we have those magic moments from the second period. If you would like to look at them, and I bet you would, place them in your eye holes. David Kampf tied it up at the end. Let's have a look at some of the things that happened earlier. The Leafs, real dichotomy here. Couldn't complete a pass, as seen here. Sens get a great scoring chance. Matthews with a huge block there. Underratedly, Ilya Samsonov has been great tonight, but Matthews did have to bail him out there. The Leafs have not been able to make a pass, but they've also looked dangerous. Here's that Stützle penalty. Have some pride. That is a divey dive, and I hope the officials watch it at intermission and feel bad. But there's David Kampf. 16.4 seconds to go in the second. Takes a perfect free feed from Jake Muzzin, who wanted it the whole time. Look at him, look at him, look at him. I want it. I got it! David Kampf. Shabbat does not get to his stick in time. It beats Forsberg, and he's cheesed, ladies and gentlemen. Mozzarella, gorgonzola, ragotta. He is cheesed. There are so many Italian cheeses. Are all of those Italian? Or do they just sound Italian? I don't know, and I should know, but I'm only half Italian. Anyway, there's David Kampf saying no swear words. He's saying the code word is refreshing. That's what you're seeing. Refreshing. If you read his lips carefully, he said sportsnet.ca/magic moments. And then he went back to the bench and celebrated his goal with a delicious Coca-Cola. Am I right, folks? Am I right, folks? Is that what happened? That's what happened. Tell them that. Tell them that's what happened. All right. So, I understand something has been going on in the chat. I told you to be nice. And you have been. We've had some technical difficulties tonight. Can't deny it. Or my audio is dropped. I'm not going to shy away from it. But instead of getting super upset about it, instead of getting cross, what the chat has done is typed out ice sounds in the chat. So someone asked for 10 seconds of ice sounds. So just play this the next time I freeze. Oh, oh, ah, How was that? Like a flame candle. No, we're not. We're not. Here's the plan. The plan is we don't freeze in the third period. But if we do, just remember, shh, craw. That's a shot. That's the sound of a big slap shot. Craw, straw, into the boards. All right? If you think I'm a ridiculous idiot, let me tell you about 3 people who aren't. And that's the cast of the player cast. After this, we have the Battle of Alberta with 3 former NHL players. We have Craig Rive, PJ Stock, Andrew Peters. They will be on the player cast on the Sportsnet YouTube channel, presented by Coca-Cola, and they will be on there every Saturday. And so will I. Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle in the player cast. My wife recently asked, she said yesterday, because we knew today was Saturday, and today was the first stream of the season. She goes, so what's your next Saturday off? Basically, what's the next Leafs free Saturday? And I looked, and the answer was Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve. They don't have an actual Saturday, like a non-holiday Saturday off until, I believe it's the very end of Janvier. So you'll be getting to know my face and hopefully the face of all the lovely players on the player cast presented by Coca-Cola. 1-1 after 2 in the Battle of Ontario. And we look to get a winner here in the third. Neither team is going to want to go to overtime. You don't want some team in your division getting points. Oh boy, speaking of getting points, the Sens are about to get one. Oh, they almost did. Stutzla could not bury Keith. Wow. Brady Tkachuk really out there hitting hard tonight. Matthews gains the zone. Got Marner with him. Where'd that puck go? Not in the net. But we will get a whistle. I tell you what, Jake Muzzin has been the only guy back several times tonight, and he got in the way of that Tim Stutzla pass, or a pass destined for Tim Stutzla. Teams are having a way too easy of a time getting behind the Leafs so far this season. The Sens have maybe done it more than anybody so far out of the Habs or Caps. With just the 1 goal against. Samsonov's been solid. I want to give the Leafs credit for limiting it to just 18 shots so far, but if you've been watching the game, you know the game tells a different story than the stats. Wide open, Josh Norris! Stopped by Samsonov.
Difficult decisions that
wow.
defensemen have to make.
Wow.
Into the play. Riley had jumped in early.
That's Brody and Riley just completely hung out to dry by their forwards.
That opens up the left seam, and boy, if Norris could have that one
Samsonov
back, had a hard time
gives him 5-hole and takes it away. Norris even gets a little whack at the rebound there. He's cheesed. Ragota.
Able to close the 5-hole and get the face off.
Samsonov looking pretty good so far. I mean, listen. The first goal he allowed in the Caps game wasn't great. The second goal he allowed was straight up. Can I say poo? I'm gonna say poo. That goal was poo. But he held the fort after that. He's held the fort pretty well tonight. Ooh, is that gonna be ice? Yes, it is. We'll go all the way down. Not a great situation for the Leafs as the 4th line is stuck out there. Sens probably get their big boys out there. Although the Leafs' 4th line has 3 penalty killers on it, so maybe they don't care. In David Kampf, Obey Kubel, and Aston Reese. I gave all 3 of them 2 names. Oh no! Leafs clear it out of harm's way for the time being, but the Sens hold on to it. Oh, big shot!
That shot cross crease.
Leafs get to it first. Oh boy, Aston Reese gains center, fires it down.
Grandstrom had a chance there as
Sends,
was kind of off balance
obviously
there,
get
trying to
possession
go
back,
to
but the
his
Leafs
right,
get some
and that
bodies
shot he was
over the
just able to
boards.
piece up.
Good interception there from Kerfoot. Yarncroke giving chase. Engvall has looked better as this game has gone on. I talked about how he didn't really get a preseason and how he hasn't looked that great so far through. I mean, this is now their 9th period of play.
Play here in the third period after setting up the tying goal late in the second.
He's looking better and better as this game goes. Oh, going into the corner with Muzzin, are you? And you fall down, don't you? Watson coming up with the puck, though. Fires it on, blocked. Muzzin still with him. Oi! Kastelik almost getting a big piece of that.
Here's the fourth line for Ottawa. They've had a good night.
Sends with some early period pressure here. Yarncroke. You all saw the pass you thought he was going to make, and he luckily didn't do it. Holds on to it as the Leafs will get some fresh bodies on.
Shy of the 3-minute mark here in the third. Hall starts it out. Riley taps it in.
Justin Hall lead pass. Leafs get it out.
Up the boards, and now Josh Norris.
Leafs give it right back.
For the Senators. Onto the left
Norris
side.
again, his first shift since getting robbed, wanting revenge. Quite get it, at least not just yet. Michael Bunting trying to exit the Leaf zone. Does. Mouth guard. Not doing its job. But he is driving the net. Shot on net. Doesn't work. And Matthews with it. Wham! Oh! Is that off the post or stop from Forsberg? Real close there. Sens looking to get some bodies over the boards as the Leafs hold on to it. With no momentum. The Sens will get a full change, it looks like. Now the Leafs go for the full changes. They turn it over. I don't know if that was the plan for Forsberg. The Sens still have the puck, and he didn't score on himself, so I suppose it's a success. Wow, success. That's getting clipped.
2 periods, just over 17. After 40 minutes tonight, moved ahead for Malgin.
Sandin pokes it out.
And he'll send it down into the Ottawa zone.
Malgin giving chase. I need another goal from him, just because every time he scores, I think it's hilarious.
Tyler Mott winds it back up in his own zone.
Why?
Here comes
I don't know.
into the lead
Do I need a reason to experience joy? Ah! Sens drove the net there.
Defenseman takes over.
Montreal losing 3-1 to Washington right now.
Gets it back
In a battle of two teams who have already played the Leafs.
So Tavares out there with Ave Kubel and Aston Reese centered in front.
Oh!
Out of the reach of Aston Reese.
Leafs starting to fight back a bit.
And played the center where Muzzin knocks it down.
Oh, Aston Reese.
Aston Reese had a clear lane to the net.
Oh, what happened there? As the Leafs are able to hold it onside. I believe that hit a player who was trying to get off the ice for Ottawa.
Another goal post. We've seen a few on both sides, and this one from down low, Matthews. Always have to worry about him.
Here's some more of the handiwork
from that angle. Instead, he goes up
from that top line. Oh, Mitch Marner so close.
Some extra on that bottom hand and was able to beat the goal.
You got to believe there's magic when we cheer together, people. There's magic when we cheer together. Mitch, get that Coca-Cola in you. Austin, get the Coca-Cola in you. Michael Bunting, you drive to your local convenience store in Scarborough and get a Coca-Cola and put it in you.
5 minutes
You
into
win
the
this
third
game.
period. Muzzin's moved up. Jake Sanderson
Leafs
there to play it
third
away
line
for
out there.
Norris
Can't hold the
center.
line. Here come the Sens.
Knocked off his stick by Yarncroke. Norris will try it again, and Yarncroke leans on him. Norris.
There have been beautiful moments through the first 2.5 games, but we have not watched beautiful hockey. It's been a bit of a clumsy, clunky mess. But teams are going to put it together, and it's going to be something special.
And Alex DeBrincat back to help out.
And they play their best in the third.
Off the stick of Giroux and Travis Hamonic, red line and bounces
They being
it.
everyone.
Ottawa changes.
Leafs and whoever they play. Tonight it's Ottawa. We'll see how they
Brody
handle it.
starts out. Off the stick of Matthews, and Bunting will try and track
Bunting
it down against
chasing
Shabbat.
after Shabbat.
Zoom with a pass for Mott.
Oh, Sens flubbing a little bit in the corner. Marner takes out his man, but the Sens exit.
But puck is played ahead, and now Joseph in front of the
Bunting just being
Senators bench.
annoying in the neutral zone. There he is again being annoying.
TJ Smith is really working that Zub.
Going for the puck and not necessarily getting it. Oh, no! Holy cow! Samsonov just had to make the best save of the game against TJ Brody. That was a straight-up backhand attempt.
As the Senators come close.
Producer Nick, I know you're watching this. Might make the cut for Dang. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Never mind. It was poked off his stick. Poked off his stick. I was about to say Jimothy Brody, or whatever TJ stands for. I don't know. Listen. Knock that off. Knock that right off. Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle, presented by Coca-Cola. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends. Hey, there was news. I don't know if you saw the news. Let me try to find it. Elliot Friedman reporting. Yeah, here it is. Hearing Sonny Milano will be signing with Washington. He does need to clear waivers, so we can start in the AHL in Hershey. Sounds like 1 year, one-way deal, $750K, so that'd be league minimum. Who's going to claim him? Is my question. I hate that rule, man. I hate that rule. Last year, the Leafs lost the goalie to Arizona. He signed a contract with the Leafs on the dotted line. I want to be a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then he went on waivers, and the Coyotes said, "You're coming here. We're extraordinarily not that team." And he was forced to just say, okay. So Sonny Milano is like, you know what? Something goes my way this way, something goes my way that way. All of a sudden, I'm playing on a line with Alexander Ovechkin. Signs with Washington. I'm going to be with Kuzi. I'm going to be with Oshie.
Just another level. His Battle of Ontario is not.
I'm going to just run around and be a rat. When Tom Wilson comes back, I'm going to be insufferable.
Good energy, great efforts,
and it's like you've been claimed by Arizona.
Go to see who's going to finish this one off.
And you're like, dude, I would have played in front of twice as big a crowd in Hershey. That's not even hyperbole. It might be slightly hyperbole. I don't know the numbers. But Hershey draws really well. I'm pretty sure it's like 8,000 or 9,000. Anyway, there's a game going on here, and it's tied. Sen's looking for an offside. I don't know if they're right, but the Leafs turn it over anyway.
Boy, there was an opportunity, too, to keep the pressure on, and so much has been made of the deep pairing. This one, Zub, and you've got to try to keep the pressure on then. Don't let Shabbat get out, and then hopefully you can get the Matthews line out.
Dump it in.
Morgan back in his own zone to help out.
Leafs. Clearing attempt that doesn't quite work, but it also avoids immediate disaster. It might be delayed disaster. Oh, and Samsonov makes an enormous save. And I believe the Leafs just took a penalty.
The chemistry with these three is really coming together. As
Samsonov, snow all over him. Snow's hitting him. The puck's hitting him. Most important part is the second one. Let's have a look at what happened here. Sandin taking out Batherson.
I didn't think he did, but
I'm not seeing the penalty. Was it a penalty, or was it just the ref thought it was covered?
Thwarted by the hand pass.
I think he just thought it was covered. Okay, cool. Me too, man. Usually when you see a player go like this, it's because they're like, oh, where was the call? But he's, I guess it was, why was there a whistle? A whistle that I didn't hear. Jimothy Brody giving chase behind the net.
Aston Reese able to hold the zone.
Aston
Nice
Reese!
there, but
Bully!
can't connect with
I wish
Bell.
that turned into something. That was a great play from Aston Reese.
Forsberg
Bell
out of
going
the net.
after
By
it.
the way, we talked about that 9-18 save percentage.
I got to tell you, this fourth line is havoc. I have faith in them when they put it together.
A 921 save percentage from
Because I don't think
Forsberg.
they've put it together just yet.
January
What is
1st
that
of
behind the
year.
play with Obey-Kubel?
Fourth best in the NHL, so
Boy, this is a
it may be
huge
long,
let
maybe
him play
Forsberg
game.
capable. He's gonna get
Except for the
tested
2
here.
penalties that were called. Matthews in with Marner!
Reads the return
Stop by
pass.
Forsberg. Leafs cough it up. We get it
Justin
back.
Hall will flip it back in. And the referee ducking is bunting. Plays it to Marner. They go back
Marner
into that
throws it
cycle.
behind the net.
Matthews behind the
Him and
net.
Matthews are practically
Marner shot muffled. Bunting turns.
telepathic.
Wide. Marner with the retrieval.
Marner again
Matthews has
with
got it.
Matthews. To the point.
Pressure's starting to build.
Sandine out there with Matthews. He likes to let it go when he's out there with him.
Take that waist-high
Oh, watch the slash, bud. Watch the
pass.
slash.
Bunting. Matthews.
Oh!
Glove stop.
Gloved by Forsberg. That wasn't a bad shot. That was not a
Well,
bad
the
shot.
pressure, you get an offensive zone shift.
11:08 to go.
Defensive
Still
matchup
tied
stayed the
1-1.
same, though. Shabbat and Zook get out there.
That's
Marner
about as good as the
tries
top
to
line
slide
has
it
looked.
through.
Oh,
Zook does a pretty good
oh,
job
if
not
Matthews gets a
allowing
piece of
anything
that, it's
for
in.
Matthews to get to. Now another turnover, Bunting with the drop back, but
That's the top
handcuffed
line we were
Matthews,
used to
unable
seeing
get a
last
whole
year.
lot of that one. You know, that earlier one, Marner was looking past. That might have been one you just put on net, try to get a rebound, because a good job of Matthews getting inside on
It's early in the
Zook.
season, I know.
Couldn't handle the pass, might have been able to handle a rebound.
Alexander Kerfoot on the face-off. Doesn't win, but it's scrambled. And Engvall battling for it behind the net. He's stripped. He's still battling for it with Brandstrom.
Yarncroke in there along with Zaitsev.
Zaitsev bench pressing Kalle Yarncroke.
And Engvall worked it loose, but has Brody and back down into the Leaf zone. Shots now 27.
Feels like the Sens could afford to buy him a bar, but
Riley, his
National
pass
Hockey League
knocked
players
down
will
by
do.
Pinto. And Alex Kerfoot gets it back. Kerfoot ahead.
Oh boy, Kerfoot playing with fire, and he turns it over, and here come the Sens.
Mott with Joseph and Tyler Mott.
What a frustrating player, man. Sometimes he looks so good, and other times not so much. I just don't think he's a center, man.
Stutzla comes back out with Matheson.
He can do it, and sometimes he can look real good doing it.
Riley leads the Leafs out.
I'm just not sure he's a full-time center.
Jake Sanderson back, and he got tagged
But what do you
there
do?
by Morgan.
Muzzin thought about holding it in.
Muzzin for Tavares.
He didn't
Back
have
to
the
Morgan.
momentum for it.
Gets back
But the Leafs
outside.
maintain possession of the puck.
Pass onto the right side for
Ah,
There's
good
Morgan.
pass, not received well
Able
from
to click, and it's Hamonic
Dennis Malgin.
looking for Tkachuk. A counter here for
Tavares, he's had a few really nice short passes this game. Malgin shoots!
Blocked by Sanderson.
Blocked by the Sens. In comes Justin Hall, who has been a busy bee tonight.
Tavares behind the net. Back to Hall. Morgan
He's
goes
taking
to
that
the
puck for a
net.
walk a few times in the offensive zone. Malgin jamming away at it. Leafs looking for a penalty. They don't get it.
Maybe a break.
Uh-oh, is this going to be a break? Brady Tkachuk! Stopped by Ilya Samsonov with less than 9.5 minutes to go. Woo-hoo-hoo. What a pass out of the Sens zone to a streaking Brady Tkachuk. What a Hail Mary.
Around it goes to
Giordano, who has looked good tonight. I don't know about that reach.
Over to Hall on the other side.
Leafs get it out, though.
Justin Hall
Fourth
with
line
a
out there again.
Terrific defensive game against Alexander Ovechkin.
Aston Reese shovels it into the corner.
Thursday night with a couple of key block shots late.
Claude Giroux, there's a nice long pass.
Matthews back there defensively, but the
Matthews back out there.
stays on the puck. Shabbat.
Leafs.
Hamonic.
I think it's Matthews with
Shot off the leg.
Aston Reese and Obey-Kubel, and I don't know if it's on
Back the other way
purpose.
goes Obey-Kubel. Matthews straight ahead. Here's
I'm going to go with
Matthews
yes.
against Sanderson.
Matthews driving the net.
Couldn't get through.
Stripped, but he went 1-on-4
Challenged the rookie there.
and didn't look out of place doing it.
Didn't overreact, kept him to the outside.
Here he is again, getting a little bit of room for himself. Marner rips it on.
There by Forsberg.
Stop by
Away
Forsberg.
goes Pinto, the Ottawa
You're
goal
tuning in
scorer.
for
Over
the end of this
line
game.
and
maybe offside.
While you're defending
Watch
1
a
second,
Leafs
and
game
then
with
as
Steve
soon as the
Dangle.
turnover
I'm
happens,
Steve Dangle,
try to get back
presented by
the other way.
Coca-Cola.
Kachuk,
Click
they
like,
got
click
control.
subscribe,
He
tell all
just
your
takes
friends.
off, tries to get behind.
Brady
This
Kachuk
one he knows is over his head.
beats
Forced
Justin
on the
Hall.
backhand. Great save by
Hall
Samsonov.
staying with him made it so that he got the best shot off, but it was a good enough one that Ilya Samsonov had to make a pretty impressive save. One of his best as a Leaf. Holy cow. Listen. There's magic when we eat together. There's magic when we cheer together. And we're all together right now cheering for the Toronto Maple Leafs to win this thing. No, you Sens fans in the chat, you shut up. Boo. We're all in this thing cheering for the Leafs and cheering for a little bit of third period home ice magic. Get it in ya. That's not the get it in ya is not the Coca-Cola slogan. It's just I didn't know what else to say. I'm an awkward boy. I'm a nervous boy. Because the Leafs are in the third period. Just gave up a partial breakaway. Their goalie had to make a big save, and it's a little nerve-wracking. Some of you have asked, Steve, what's your heart rate tonight? And I am here to tell you, even though we didn't do it for tonight's game, the heart rate monitor is back. And by that, I mean the watch, the digital watch that I wear on my wrist. And it measures my heart rate during Leaf games. And the microchips inside the device say, I think he's dying. But then the personal information I type into it, like Twitter or text or whatever, like, no, he's just watching hockey. And the microchip's like, I don't understand that because I'm a machine, but that doesn't seem healthy.
On the Calgary front, but just
and to that microchip, I would say, shut up, what do you know? Go Leafs, go. Sorry. Let's go Leafs. Whoever at the Leafs came up with a slogan for this season, scrap it. It's done. It's let's go Leafs, thanks to The Rock. Bless Dwayne The Rock Johnson for coming up with the Leafs' new slogan. That break from Brady Kachuk, nice play from Matthews there, made me realize, I was about to say, it made me realize how much the Leafs have cut back on the odd man rushes against. There was about to be one there, but I believe the Sens are about to head to the box. Just the third penalty of the game, the second one for the Sens. The Leafs get a late third period, late-ish, 7.5 to go. Power play. Parker Kelly in the box. You naughty boy. Let's see what you did. Riley gets rid of the puck. Parker Kelly hits him kind of in the numbers. What's the call? Did he call it interference?
The interference and gives the Leafs an opportunity here on the power play.
Are you sure? There have been 3 calls tonight, and I don't get any of them. If it's boarding or... all 3 of them have been plays that I would usually just kind of scoff at. Oh, wait a sec. That's the 4th one. Because Kampf had one as well. Wow, the calls are even. It's so weird how that happened. That never happens in the NHL. The refs are very good at their jobs.
Norris was the one that was a little too quick, so they'll try it all over again.
And Tyler Mott in to duel with the Leafs captain.
No, we let them play and we managed the game. That's very much the problem.
Get it started. Morgan Riley back from Matthews.
Leafs have a power play. They shoot it on. There's a rebound.
Doesn't go in. As he tied up Tavares. And Tyler Mott.
A little carry here. Shot. Stop. Willie up the ice with speed. Giddy up. I don't know about that pass to Mitch, and the Leafs lose the zone. Matthews doing everything he can to just prevent a breakaway there. as the Sens have the rare solo offside.
Didn't get a shot on goal, their first one. I wondered here,
He went offside against himself.
Get something done. 34 seconds. They get to stay on here as try to get the zone, get the setup that they want. And I just think a pretty good job that Ottawa's tried to be as aggressive as they can.
Minute 26 to go in this power play. 6:55 to go in this third period. 1-1 is the score in the first Battle of Ontario of the season.
In the Ottawa zone with Norris on it. Checked by Marner.
Sens really giving the Leafs fits. Matthews with it. Passes to Willie. Shoots. Scores! Willie Nylander with the snipe.
Power play goal gives Toronto the lead.
Anton Forsberg has been so difficult to beat tonight.
You better make sure you clear the zone.
Which should give you an idea of how magical that shot was. And with 6:36 to go, Leafs take the 2-1 lead at home. Marner does the work to hold the puck in. Tavares, another beautiful short pass to Matthews, who goes over to Willie, who just roofs the thing.
In William Nylander's game is that quick release, and he makes no mistake here.
That's a great pass and a great shot from a great player. William Nylander, a very dainty clapping. You ever get very excited but you're holding something delicate? I'm not going to make fun of you for it. I get it. You didn't want to spill your drink. That thing cost $30. I get it. Don't you worry. Nylander with a second goal of the season, and the Leafs not satisfied, sniffing for more. That could have easily been a call. Is that ice? Oh, that's garbage.
Well, career year last year with 34 goals for Nylander. 30 goals in 2 of his last 3 years. And I just think, as an individual player, you say, where can I get better? And there's no question, if you've watched his goals over the last couple of years, that quick release, and not only the quickness of it, the power of it, the positioning there, and he just said, oh, wow.
Anyway,
as he watched
as I was saying, that icing call was trash. Thomas Chabot held back his man, who I believe was Alexander Kerfoot. Refs kind of hate him.
By the way, the assist by Matthews, closing in on a milestone, number 199. Here comes Kerfoot ahead for Engvall. Engvall watched and knocked down by Zub on a strong play with under 6 minutes left in the third. Leafs have their first lead of the game at 13:24 of this third period.
Kalle Järnkrok with it.
Ahead, and there is Engvall checked.
Engvall kind of in an awkward spot there along the benches. Didn't want to take a power play. Didn't want to take a penalty, rather, leading to a Sens power play. Shots 30-25 for the Leafs. Who cares? Score 2-1. I care. Less than 5.5 to go now. DeBrincat with it.
Back at the line for Sanderson and Hamonic.
Zaitsev stops by Ilya Samsonov, who so far tonight has been A-okay. Matthews fired up. John Tavares, believe it or not, that's fired up for him. Excited that William Nylander scored the go-ahead goal. We will see if the Leafs can hold on. Watch the Leafs game with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle, presented by Coca-Cola. Click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends. And hey, let's say this game ends in just a few minutes. I don't know. Might go to overtime. I don't know. Might go to the shootout. I don't know. However this goes, there will be the player cast after this for the Battle of Alberta here on the Sportsnet YouTube channel. Craig Rivet, PJ Stock, Andrew Peters, former NHL players who are smarter than I am, frankly, when it comes to hockey and hockey-related things. That's also presented by Coca-Cola, the player cast here on the Sportsnet YouTube channel. Check it out. And then tell me, report back with, well, what's it all about? There's the, oh, yeah. Yeah, look at the puck going all over the place. X's nose. Do they have the capability to draw on the screen? Can I draw on the screen? What if I just want to draw a cat? Or like one of those, you know, that S? It's like the 6 lines, and then you do the diamond. And then the... My name starts with S. That was on every binder I had in school. It was on every binder all of us had in school. Why? I don't know. I don't know. It was fun. And I didn't want to read Hansel and Gretel or whatever it was we read in school. There was a book I had to read. I think it was in grade 7?
The 2-1 lead.
6?
He later led the
It was called Flying Geese.
with 3 goals, 6 points.
The title sucked. Anyway, that was concerning. Also concerning, the Sens tying the game. Claude Giroux, Elebu, and with 5:11 to go in the third, the Sens tie it up 2-2.
Just a consistent effort to get to the front of the net and find the loose puck in traffic.
Sheldon Keefe looking like he's about to explode. Let's see why. So first of all, he gets caught with the fourth. Again, I don't think getting caught with the fourth line is a bad thing for this team. It's David Kampf. There's a rebound in front. Samsonov can't find it, and there's no one to clear it, frankly. Well, there's 4 guys, but they were all very late. Oh, no, he had it!
The puck's to his right.
He had it, and he gave it to Giroux, who has been a leaf killer over his career. And all of a sudden, it's tied.
Been a consistent score in his career, and that consistency reflected against Toronto. His 42nd point in 42.
I thought that was clever. I didn't even have that planned. DeBrincat throws it in front, and oh boy, just no one's there, man. David Kampf was down, yes. Not good enough.
Face-off win that ties the hockey game for you.
So the goals come a minute 25 apart. Alex DeBrincat with his
less than 5 minutes to go here in a tied game between the Leafs and Sens.
Nylander starts back with Tavares and Sandin. Under 5 left here in the third. Both teams have had a lead tonight.
Second game of the season. Leafs took the lead in the third. Ooh, bit of a high hit there from Muzzin. Leafs took the lead in the third and held on to it. Game 1, the Leafs implode. Game 3, what's going to happen? They've already given up the lead.
Here's the Senators captain chipping it in. After it against Hall.
They haven't lost the game.
But away with the puck is Matthews. Now Marner settles it.
That's a tough one for Samsonov, who has been so good tonight.
Then got a hit in on Zub. Puck given away. And
oh, can't get the pass through. Marner skating with it. Loses it. Leafs hold on to it, though.
Morgan Riley flipping it high, and that's out of play.
The puck goes out of play, and we will get a face-off.
Top lines going head-to-head. You know, there's always a time when you go in.
Under 4 minutes to go here.
You know you got to take a hit to make a play. It's happening when these two lines are together. Justin Hall took one from Tkachuk and got the puck out. At the other end, trying to.
Alex DeBrincat in the Sens jersey still looks very strange to me.
Really good.
I still don't get it. I still don't get it from a Chicago perspective.
Not surprised we're sitting here a tie game so late.
Definitely a sign for Ottawa fans that this is a different team, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's really what I think everyone was looking for in terms of improvement from the Ottawa Senators, and you've seen it on a lot of different levels tonight.
Yarn Croak trying to generate some energy here on Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle.
Leafs on it. Morgan Riley.
Morgan Riley. Pierre Engvall. He's been sniffing all night. Can we get something out of him? Throws it to the point. This is a very third line shift where a bunch of nothing's happening. Let's turn it into a bunch of something. Yarncroak's trying. Feeds Timothy Brody. Shoots, goes wide. The Leafs hold the zone though. Morgan Riley firing it back in. But with everyone trying to cover, yeah, they'll lose it. But the Sens need the change. They dump it deep. The Leafs get it back. Less than 3 minutes to go here.
when it looked like it was going to be going out of the zone.
Tavares works it ahead. Dennis Morgan trying to sidestep Shabbat. Eric Grant's from out there now. Again, no Zaitsev here in the late stages of the third
Leafs.
period.
Oh! I thought it was at the point there. Sens break out with it. They've been good at breaking out with speed in this game. They turn it over there. Tavares. Long pass to Malgin. What a move. In the corner, waiting for reinforcements, and they arrive. Nylander behind the net. No one seems to care he's there. Maybe should have given him a look there. The guy scored your second goal.
Matthews leaves it for Marner.
Matthews to Marner. Always a good connection.
Marner hands it off, and here's Justin Hall.
Marner to Hall, who's been real hungry tonight. Hey, Bunting! Bunting throws it on! And I don't know if Justin Hall got a piece of it, but with 1:55 to go in the third, the Leafs take the lead again. Scarborough. Let's have a look at what happened here. This Leafs top line has been getting better and better all night. Marner to Bunting, who gets his own rebound, it looks like. Let's see another angle of maybe... Oh, man. I said that was Marner who set it up. It was Justin Hall. He's looked great tonight, I gotta say. At least in the offensive zone, and he might have got the goal, too.
So often you think defensive style player, there's
hard to tell from the replay. I guess we'll find out officially after the game. Right now, it appears to be going to Michael Bunting. I think what he just said is, I don't know. And can the Leafs hold on to this lead this time? I don't know.
That one was a little...
But you know what? There's magic when we cheer together, folks. Let's cheer together. Oh, no. Don't. I didn't say fall together, TJ. Brody out there with Muzzin. Empty net for the Sens with 90 seconds to go in this game. Muzzin can't quite get to it. Brings it around. Oh! Okay. Leafs clear the zone at the very least. Engvall wanting that ENG. Doesn't get it. Oh! Kerfoot. Oh, no. Can't clear the zone. Oh, that's bad. Sens put it on. Where is it? Muzzin doing a lot of moving on this shift. Going to be huffing and puffing. Sens with a lot of space as we enter the final minute of regulation. Shabbat working around with it. Justin Hall officially getting the goal. By the way, puck goes high and wide. And the Leafs will clear the zone. Poked wide. Shabbat gets to it, though. Sens are still in this. As they dump it, though, oh, that's a bit of a mystifying decision. Oh, my goodness, I get you got to take your chances. Shabbat gets in front of that Marner shot. They needed a line change, but look up at the clock, but there's not a ton of time left. And all of a sudden, as the Sens come the other way, it feels like a lot of time, doesn't it? Under 20 seconds to go here. Leafs doing everything they can to clear the zone, and they do. The Sens will have a chance for one more rush. 10 seconds to go. Where is it? Sens put it in. Giordano rings it around. Oh, the Sens don't hold the zone. And that'll do it. The Toronto Maple Leafs win the first Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle, presented by Coca-Cola, of the season, thanks to his first of the season from Justin Hall.
So 3 goals in the final.
On a play that made me think he was Mitch Marner on the replay. Hall skates it in, dishes to Bunting, and cleans up the rebound. Maybe should have been able to tell from his reaction that it was his goal the whole time. The Leafs take the first game of the Battle of Ontario, and that man right there, Ilya Samsonov, had quite the game, and he needs to have a lot of games like that because he is going to be the Leafs starting goaltender for the foreseeable future. Matt Murray placed on LTIR today, which means he's going to miss a minimum of 4 weeks. But between that win against the Ottawa Senators and his previous win against the Washington Capitals. For both of the Leafs wins so far this season, Samsonov has been between the pipes. Has he been perfect? No. Have the Leafs been perfect in front of him? No. But I can tell you they have a winning record. And I can tell you they won tonight. They have a winning record tonight. They're 1-0 tonight. I like that. See? You see? The Leafs were losing. Leafs fans were booing them. But there's magic when we cheer together. That's what Coca-Cola taught me tonight. And that's why the Leafs won. This win brought to you by Coca-Cola. That's how that works, you see. Phew! What a game. What a game, what a game. Jason, what was the best moment from this game or the worst moment from this game? I like the one where they won. I mean, it's an easy one. It's an easy one because it's the game-winning goal. But that was awesome. Samsonov made a few really good saves. Matthews with that enormous block. How about the Leafs not whining with their tail tucked between their legs when they kind of blew it there? Let's be honest. With under 6 minutes to go, Nylander with an amazing snipe, and it's wasted because of inadequate defense in front of Samsonov. There's a rebound in front. Claude Giroux buries it, and they can sulk and be like, here we go again. Well, guess what? They win the game. So I got to go with game-winning goal, but I'm going to go with overall effort and the fact that they got better as the game went, I thought. Because you heard me complaining. There were times, especially in I would say the first half of the game, so the first period and the first 10 minutes of the second, where I was getting fed up with watching. Goodness, they couldn't connect the pass to save their lives. But then they put it together. Mitch Marner to Justin Hall. And he's got the goal right now. Let's have a look again. I want to see this on the replay. Brady Tkachuk not feeling very good about that. We should have known it was Justin Hall when he was the first to the bench. Really, it was those two who orchestrated it. So this is what happened. Marner hands it off to Hall. Two Sens go with him. And Hall, who was attacking all night, and you know what? I know Leaf fans are kind of sick of this guy sometimes, and Sheldon Keefe talks about him in his penalty-killing role. That's the Justin Hall that earned an NHL contract after being dropped by the Blackhawks, after being a second-rounder, after playing in the ECHL. The Justin Hall that earned an NHL contract did that stuff. He jumped up in the play. He attacked. He created offense. That's what he did with the Toronto Marlies. That's how he was able to win a Calder Cup at the Toronto Marlies. That's how he was able to earn an NHL contract, and that's how he was able to earn a spot in the Leafs lineup and then stay there. He's stayed there, by and large, for the last few years. I want to see that sort of thing. I see people say all the time that they hate when he handles the puck in the defensive zone. And you know what? I do too. It's terrifying. It's not one of his strong suits. When he handles the puck in the offensive zone, when he does stuff like that, that's a great play. It's great execution, and it's a great read. And he won the game. He won the game for the Toronto Maple Leafs with that play. But let's not lose sight of Michael Bunting knowing his job and doing his job well, and Mitch Marner taking two Sens with him. That's not puck watching. That's Mitch watching. They just... If two Leafs did that, we'd be screaming at them right now. But it's two Sens, and the Sens dropped the first game of the Battle of Alberta. Big one. Big one. Speaking of big one, we got a big one coming up. The Player Cast here on the Sportsnet YouTube channel. Just stay here on the Sportsnet YouTube channel. The Player Cast presented by Coca-Cola. We have former NHL players. They're going to be in and out all season. But tonight, in the lineup, Andrew Peters, Greg Rive, PJ Stock, here to entertain you, here to tell you a thing or two about hockey, and here to talk about the Battle of Alberta. And on this, the inaugural Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle, presented by Coca-Cola, Leafs win 3-2 over the Ottawa Senators. I love it. I love it a lot. What do you say? What do you say? Do we wrap it up? Do we feel nice about the win? Are we happy about all that? Don't forget, sportsnet.ca/magic moments. If you missed the code word, you missed it. You missed it. It's refreshing. But next time, well, you better get on it right away. If you want free cash from Coca-Cola, you got to watch every week. Go to sportsnet.ca/magic moments every week and use the code word every week. This week's code word is refreshing. But if you try to type it in next week, it's not going to work because it's going to be a different code word and you got to come back. Speaking of comeback, the Leafs. They were losing 1-0. I choose to call that a comeback. I know it's not. It technically is. We can have a debate about that, but we're not going to do it here. That is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this stream. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. The Leafs, currently the best team in Ontario. It's just facts.